Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Hey, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Cool. Sorry, am I
Hi,
a bit
Chris.
loud again?
Hey, Chris.
You don't look too bad, Chris.
Good, eh? Sweet.
Right, let's bring the other elements back in. Alright, we can hit some Pro 800. Is that not working? Oh, have we lost USB again? Can you guys hear that, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just adding Steve into StreamYard. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how do you?
Wow, it looks like I've just lost USB again on that Mac. But maybe I'm overloading it.
If it's M1, you shouldn't be.
There we go. There's the Pro. Now, what's the Pro going into? It's going into this. Let's go to this view. What I might do, guys, is take this, because I can see this. Actually, you guys can see that okay, can't you?
Yeah.
I can actually see this now. Whereas before, when I have it flat on the stream, and I can't see the screen and stuff. But what you do with this anyway? What algorithm we're on at the moment? We're on attenuator. Okay, cool. And I can't see the screen and stuff. Let's just listen to that by itself. And let's change this to and transpose it. Make this a bit longer. 7's kind of a cool number because it's really just mathematically stupid, right? When it comes to music, especially if you're playing in, you know, fours. You know, you have to get to 28 steps or something before you kind of. That's the duration, right? Okay, cool. And then we want to attenuate this now. MIDI transpose. This is the part that people hate. Scrolling through these things. Length. Scale. Attenuator, right? Attenuator. We can get this to go really high now. Cool. And Ableton did not stop that. Oh, it did. Okay, cool. Fair enough. Hey, everybody. How are we? Welcome to an episode of Synth Geekery. We're on episode 220. So where have you been? And if you're new here, you've got a lot of questions that you need answering right now because 220 episodes, we want to know where you've been. Also, we've got lots of people here on the video side, which I think is really, really cool. It just warms my heart. It's lovely. We've got a whole bunch of people here on vMix. If you're wondering what type of streaming software I use, I've just told you. vMix. Yes, it's only for Windows users, so sorry about that. What I might do is I might pop the StreamYard guys who are over here. At the moment, it's just Steve. Steve's feeling a bit lonely. He's got a mouse on his head. I might move that. How are you, Steve?
Hi, Steve. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey,
You're right.
Steve.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Can hear you fine, mate.
Loud and clear, mate.
Yeah, and it's nice to have you back in your studio. Wow, look at that nice, neat setup you've got there. That's insane. Let me go. I'm gonna go full screen on you, and you won't see any.
wow.
You'll just see yourself, right? But look at that. You've cleaned up, mate. You're just beautiful, nice and neat. No dust.
Yeah,
Look at that. Hey,
dust free.
dust free.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah, the stuff at the back are just ornaments.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice ratings, by the way. Okay, let's put StreamYard in there. Anyway, it's nice to have everybody here, as I said before. We'll get rid of the chatties. We'll say hello to the chatties in a sec, don't forget. So we'll start off by saying hello to everyone while I sort out the bottom right-hand corner. We'll start off with Darren. Darren, how's your week been, mate?
It's been fine. I think I've been having glitches and hiccups like you have. Other issues, but mental fades. But other than that, yeah, it's been fine. What can I report? Not a lot. Oh, we were talking last week in the news about those mini patches. Well, I have.
Hey.
So,
Wow.
I went out and I got the patchwork.
Ah, you got one.
Cool.
Yes. So, and it's quite heavy as well. It's decent weight, so it's not gonna really
Move
shift
around.
on your desk. Yeah. I mean, for people like Chris, you could probably rig one of them in 5 minutes. But for me, yeah, definitely built, nice, solid, decent patches. So yeah, I've not had a chance to try it out, but that means I can put all those guitar pedals along here because I get an obsession with guitar pedals for some reason for effects. Means I don't have to muck about if I want to do a different, part. I can just patch it on this now when I get them all sorted out. So I don't need to have them all unplugging and putting something in a different order. I can just patch it away quite
Run
nicely
a
on
snake
here.
out there or
So,
something. Yeah.
well, they can come down to the desk, and I can have this on the desk. This patch bay on the desk, everything into there, and then I can just patch.
Yeah.
I can patch any, distortion first, distortion last, whichever way I want it, without having to unplug all the pedals each time. And
So who
muck
had
about
them
with
in
them.
stock
Or
in your area, Darren?
I got
Yes.
this from what? Who? Chris, you say yes. Well, what's up?
Rance and I are both having trouble getting these boxes in Australia, believe it or not.
All right. Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it comes from Thailand. In fact, because mine's
Yes, sir.
143.
That's what I've heard too. He's from Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be just not far from you. So I got
Not far.
this, and I was very tempted to get the big mixer one.
Yeah.
But it was either the patchwork or the big mixer. But I went for the patchwork because I can also use it with the modular, so I can have all my guitar pedals running through. So if I decide to bring out my modular after all this time not using it, I'll be able to wick a lot of patches with that, which is quite cool. Saves mucking about. So yeah.
Were you tempted to get the other one as well? You know how there's like a companion to that one? They're both the same size.
Yeah, well, there's two actually. There's the nano patch, which is the small one, and then there's a patch M, I think it's called, and then the sort of the more mixer type version, which is interesting. Well, obviously, I've got the big mix here, but I was quite interested in the mixer.
Juno in London have got them in.
Yes, that's where I got it from, Juno.
Yeah. They say they've got guaranteed stock.
Yes. But they haven't got the nano patching yet, but I think he's only just released that.
I think we need to have a little word to our friend in Thailand because he's either he's in the middle of doing deals with distributors. Please don't muck around with a company called CMI. Just don't.
I think I might end up with one of them when I've got moved.
That's good, Darren.
I must admit, it is a nice weight, so it's not like and the decent feet on it. I mean, you are going to move it if you're going to. I don't know, because it sticks quite firm and there's a lot of weight even to pull in and out. So I think that patchwork is definitely not going to move unless you're literally yanking the things out with. But for general patching, yeah,
130 quid free shipping, but not to Australia, sadly, chaps.
So let me just try pulling some.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah.
Well, Darren should have got his for free because he was the one that told me about it, and I was the one that showed it on the show. So he should be getting his for free.
Yeah.
You should be getting commission.
Works fine with patches. Sorted. It doesn't pull out.
Okay.
They're a nice tight fit, but this one's fine. So, and it's like I say, decent weight, nice box. And I got it the next day. Yeah, pretty much the next day.
Hey, speaking of that, how big is that compared to your little MIDI? You've got your MIDI, what do you call it, router bay thing that you're using.
The thing that I put on Facebook with my issues. If everybody looks at that.
Yeah. How big is it compared to that?
Right. There's the little MIDI router.
Oh, it's tiny. Okay,
Yeah, exactly. And there's the patch bay.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
okay, cool.
In fact, I'll tell you what I can show you. It's if you know the size of a oh God, my brain's going. This is why I had the issues. The Mark III Mini.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there.
Okay, so it's about the size of a Roland scooper. Hey, that's almost like a Eurorack size, isn't it?
Do you know what? Let me have a look.
He's getting ideas now.
It might just be, The only thing is you've got these on the back, which would stop it.
But you can
But other than that,
but
other than that, it probably would fit in. It's a close one. Yeah, no, it's the same. Yeah, it would. I think it would go in a rack.
Put some wings on it, and she'd bolt in.
Yes,
and just move those
think it
back
would.
end. Yeah, maybe he's got something in mind for Eurorack people. Who knows? That's awesome, mate.
Get in touch with him.
Yeah,
get in touch with him and say, well, great product. Can you do one for Eurorack as well? Just
and give Darren another free one or something while we're at it.
A nano patch would be fine.
Yeah. All right, beautiful. Moving next. Who's next? Andy, how are you, bud?
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Boy, the lighting makes me look terrible here. Looks like a ghoul. The shadows. Looks terrible. I didn't get that much sleep, but I don't feel that bad as I look. So anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, it's been a cool week. I'm busy with lots of stuff. I used Chris's module 3 times. Very successfully, so thank you, Chris, for that.
Good.
Looking for the new firmware when you get it out there.
You're very welcome.
So that's great. So I did a hardware jam as usual using modular. Did a Imam last night with it, and also did sorry, not last night, 2 nights ago with it, and did one. Dean Electrona Sounds has a showcase later today, his 3rd showcase, and I think Andy and Grace have a track in there as well, but I have a track for that I made with the modular as well. So it's been a busy week and using Chris's module, so yeah, good stuff. So other than that, just the usual stuff, No new toys or anything like that. Just making stuff and tinkering. So good fun. Oh, we have later on. We have JX3D. Have a synth soundtrack show.
Senior synth stream.
Senior synth stream with the synth soundtrack show. Say that many times fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without any what do you call it? Sibilance.
Sibilance and lisping.
Yeah. Awesome. Right, who's next? Ian, I believe.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. I've had a good week, actually. First of all, I got to the wedding on time, just because I was in the chat room last week, and actually, I'm glad I was there because it was distracting me from the Uber we were travelling in, because it was gridlocked to London last Saturday. The whole weekend was superb. I've been doing quite a bit of stuff for Sinners Music this week. I found a load of CDs of artists that we worked with in 2016, 2017. So they've been added. None of it is electronic. It's all sort of pop rock stuff and, small bands, that type of stuff. But I have put a new album out by a chap called Tony Imperatrice, who is an experimental organist who does ambient music. So that's gone live today. We've been talking to Tony for quite a while. So that's his debut album that we've just put out. And a great review for Andy and Grace's album in Oral Aggravation, which has just gone live last night. And I went and bought some stuff because I was on a train for 2.5 hours going down to London on Thursday. So I finally got around to buying AUM and messed around with that a bit. And I also bought Rosetta, the sequencing package, which I haven't touched yet, really. But I needed to do something on the train. So my iPad was my my instrument of choice. But apart from that, it's been a good week, really. Still haven't found a house, so I'm still here, and probably will be until next year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Still
all sort of
haven't found what you're looking for.
We are going down again to have a look at some more houses, but our poor buyer, she hasn't resold her house, so we're stuck in a bit of limbo, really.
Keep trying.
I know.
Keep trying.
Oh yeah. We'll get there.
Awesome. All right. Wish you all the best. Okay. Next is Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, my week's been similar to last week. It's been pretty busy. And on the makeshift modular front, I've been building modules, testing modules, burning in modules, running them day in, day out, that kind of stuff. No defects so far.
Whoa. Oh, no.
There might be a defect now.
Ouch.
I was going to say the defects now.
Ouch. Yeah.
That's the gorilla test. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did say it was
That's
testing to extreme.
Those ones are going for 50% off, everyone.
Fortunately, that was none of my active modules. That was my module storage rack. So
Wow. Yeah, okay there, bud.
I won't be selling
it's all
those,
good.
obviously.
I hope all good there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now we get lighting problems.
As the camera goes down and he's got his hand in his head. His hand in his head in his hands. Oh, we're having a mare this week.
A few moments later.
Yeah.
Live bench testing says Legacy Hand in chat.
Indeed, no, bench testing. Yes, okay. So obviously, I don't take my own medicine and tell people to secure my own modules correctly. So failure there. So apart from that, been stress testing. Did a new firmware release today, and wrote firmware uploading guides because it needs a bit of explaining, which I put on Discord. If you're on Discord, you'll see it there. Next up for me, apart from building more modules and testing them, is I might be having a go at the automatic sequence reset idea. that's been proposed to me,
Mm.
which was mentioned. I was showing some cool other algorithms by a certain other manufacturer of modules that Rant will probably be showing us a bit of today. Already has shown us a bit of today.
You could just tell them that they won't mind.
Yeah, the Expert Sleepers Disting Mark IV has an algorithm in it that if you tell it how many steps your sequencer has, and if your sequencer doesn't have an automatic reset to step 1, whenever it sees the transport signal go away, it fast steps to the first step in the sequence again. So I'll have a go at doing that, I think. See how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's called counter, the algorithm.
Yeah. It makes sense because it's what it has to do. It has to count.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, apart from that, haven't done much. I haven't touched a synth or made a noise for too long. So, yeah, I might have to take an hour or two aside this week just to force myself to start switching some of this gear on I've been getting. Haven't had time to work on. So,
Yeah, get some
I will
gear.
resolve to do that this week at least once. I tried to get to this week. I nearly got to it, but unfortunately didn't quite make it. So, yep, that's it for me, mostly.
Beautiful. Awesome.
No worries.
Okay, we've got through the VMix people, and now we're going to go across the StreamYard, who we have first that came in was Steve. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Nice to have you on.
Yeah, not been on for a while. So I've just been so sort of bogged down with work and stuff. So not had much time for anything really. I got a bit disillusioned with old eurorack, but I think I'm coming out of the woods with that. So so I've been sort of working on this rack here for the live stuff and the sequencer for EMOMs and things. So yeah, so it's got a big 6 amp power supply in this because it was to drive all the modules. And this week I picked up a TR8S.
Yay.
Yeah, so because I'm rubbish at rhythm stuff, so I need to.
Have you ever had a TR8 or a TR8S before?
No, it has been a bit of a learning curve, to be honest, because I expected just to be able to select whichever drums I wanted and just play them, but you have to get a bit deeper than that. So yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve, but yeah,
it's okay once you get it.
Yeah, it's typically Roland.
Yeah. I need to get a bit more modulation for this rack as well, because I've not got anywhere near enough because I've just focused on sort of voices and stuff like that. So I've got another rack that I'm going to probably put modulation in, but I need to get one of those systems that link 2 cases together with like the Ethernet cables and stuff.
Yeah, the Dopther system.
Yeah. I looked at the Dopther one. I think the elevator sounds are flogging it for like 115 quid or something like that. So I was just trying to find other solutions as well that do the same thing.
Well, there's a Feedback Modules collab one that they do, but it's ribbon cable connections, which I think is probably a little bit of a pain, especially if you want to run along ribbon cable sort of lengths. But and it's all passive.
See what they've got there.
Yeah, it might be all right. The one with the Dopther seems to be the more popular one though with guys out there. So yeah, and I think
it's like 14 connections you can send either way, so it's be useful for that.
I think Befarco do another one? I think Befarco do one. So check them out. I'm pretty sure it's Befarco. Anyway, we can chat offline about it. There's a few. A few. Yeah. See if we get time and we can have a little bit of a run through what's in your racks too, because I reckon people will be looking at some of those modules going, "What's that? Oh, hang on, what's that?"
yeah, can have a look. Yeah,
I can definitely see the Befarco module there.
1 or 2.
Oh yeah. I built that one from a kit.
Oh, good on you.
So I got the expander and the hex mix, and I got the ST mix as well. So I built all those 3.
They're a great set. Yeah, fantastic.
I had to buy mine. I was too lazy to build them. So
it's a big job.
It took me
a big job.
It took me hours.
Yeah.
It took me about 36 hours to build it because I just wanted everything to be so precise. I was even cleaning the resistor legs and everything. So I just wanted to make sure it was
Well,
right.
you mate.
Yeah.
No worries, Steve. You're not the only one who does stuff like that.
I get a bit OCD with it. Yeah.
Awesome. And we've also got who was it? Henrik has jumped in as well. He's going to be busy on the streaming today, mate. You got this, and then you got your show afterwards. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah. I'm good. It's the first time I'm trying a new microphone, so I don't know how it sounds. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Let me just have a look at your levels. Just tell us how your week's been.
It's been fine. I almost can't remember what I've done. A lot of work. That's about it. And then I've been preparing tonight and was doing the thumbnails. Expected to do them Thursday, but it became Friday, so it was a little late. But so they're not the best quality, but it's okay. That's a thumbnail for the show tonight, the movie soundtrack show.
Well, so just tell everyone what time that stream is on, so they all know.
UK time, it's 8 o'clock. Then you have to calculate from that, or you can go to YouTube on my Jack's 3D channel and see if see the time, your local time there.
Perfect.
Probably the easiest thing.
JX3D on YouTube, and it's the senior synth stream at 8 o'clock.
How's the audio?
I think it's fine. Yeah, I think before you were probably too loud before, like in the previous shows, and I think this one's quite good. Yeah,
Sounds good.
How's what the frequency range?
Yeah, it's quite a good range. Quite a good range, Henry. I
not too
can
bad.
hear more bass in your voice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm also closer to the mic.
Yeah,
and it's a large diaphragm.
Fabulous.
What?
Fabulous.
Oh, I'm not used to hearing myself, but it's going through. It's rooted differently than normal, so I can hear myself this time.
Fantastic.
So
Right.
I can't hear you if you try to interrupt me.
Interrupt. Interrupt.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to say hello to the chatties now. Speaking of interrupting. Hey, there they all are. Now, who gets to wear the yellow Guernsey of awesomeness this week? It's not scrolling back far enough for me, unfortunately. I think it might have been Andy Synchrotron. It might have been someone before him, but I think he said he couldn't stay. So, Andy, I think you could probably wear the yellow Guernsey of awesomeness for the week, being early anyway, hanging around. Big hello to you. And Keith in Watford, one of our channel members, is there. Homegrown, big hello. We've got Legacy Hand, awesome to have you. I Sing the Body Electric, awesome to have you as well. And then we just saw Steve before as well, so he's in there. Grace is there, Grace Griffin, George Kempson, and Matt Brown. Nice to have all of you. And then we are scrolling, and I'll bet you it scrolls off the screen when I do this. Wigoo's jumped in. Hey, g'day, he says. And I've got to scroll through everyone saying hi to each other. Lady Aptitude, it's awesome. Culture of Ghosts, nice to have you as well. And then it's going to scroll off the screen, so I'm going to do the trick where I just click on this and go Cresshead. Hello, Cresshead. Hi to Fail Muso, which is Robbie Puricelli from ProSynth Network. Big hello to Inverted Popes, one of our channel members and illustrious moderator in the chat room. Jason Crouch is there. Big hello to you. Native VS, haven't seen you for ages, so it's nice to have you there. Offworld Networks there. Prometheus UK, and that will do for now. If I've missed anyone, just throw your synth at the screen. Yep. If you're disgusted by anything, just grab it and just throw it at the screen. And if that
Chris,
makes you feel better, hey, therapy.
Can I just ask how long does it take you to update your TRS8? TR8S?
Probably about it's actually TR6S, so it's the smaller one. But it took about a minute.
Really?
A little over. Yeah.
Mine's,
I had to walk away. Yeah, I had to walk away.
Really?
And make coffee.
to go make a cup of tea. Yeah, I've had no trouble when I've done mine.
Yeah,
It seems pretty
slow.
quick. Yeah.
New computer too, so I don't know. It can't be
Yeah.
USB 2, USB 3 thing. We're just talking about update speeds of our TR8Ss and 6Ss.
So you don't do it with the SD card. You do it with you just connect it to.
No, I did it with the
okay.
TR editor software, which may be
right, yeah.
the thing
The
that
quickest
makes it
way
really slow.
the quickest
SD
way
card.
to do it is just stick it on an SD card and then import it
Yeah,
that way. Because that's how I do it.
Yeah, I'll try that next time for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. I just thought you guys can just run the show for a bit. No worries. What are we doing this week? Well, if you haven't worked it out, pinned in the top of your chat room is the StreamYard link, which looks something like this. And that'll get you into StreamYard. There is a couple of spots left. You've got Henrik and Steve already in there. Two awesome guys, by the way. By the way, too, if you you watch the show, maybe you're watching on a replay. You're not watching it live. You're missing out on all the cool live stuff, right? If you're watching it on a replay, what I suggest you do is, if you haven't, go and join our Discord server. There's the link to it. Chuck that into your browser, and if you've got Discord as an app, it should pop up. If you haven't, just create yourself an account. It's free. Discord is one of those platforms, I believe, that is not quite yet taken over by the advertising world, and it's a pretty safe sort of place to sort of chat. And the cool thing about it is during the week we kind of continue on our discussions. We might even be talking about stuff before the next show, and that might give you a leg up into what's happening on the next show. Speaking of what happens on shows, we have regular segments starting with Funny Side. And this week, I thought this was very, very topical. Now, a lot of you guys watch this show aren't from Australia, okay? You won't even know who Norman Gunston is. And you won't even know what an AFL Grand Final is. In fact, today at the AFL Grand Final was a very, very famous US band called Kiss. And Andy Synthetic would know who Kiss are. Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley and the guys that wear the awesome makeup. Did a pretty good job, actually. But anyway, Norman Gunston, he released an album called Kiss Army. Norman Gunston, by the way, he's a bit of a jokester from the 1970s and 80s, TV sort of personality. I don't even know if he's around anymore, actually. But if you do get your hands on one of that, do let us know, because I wouldn't mind actually having another listen to it. It was pretty funny. Right. And by the way, Kiss at the AFL Grand Final did a really, really good job, considering how old those guys are. Brilliant.
He didn't hit every high note, but I noticed the ones he didn't hit. But I still thought he did an excellent job.
Yeah, I think.
What's
his name? Gene Simmons was just singing low, and Paul Stanley was kind of struggling, I think, with the notes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Next, when I upload my new song to SoundCloud, now it's everyone's problem. Yes, it is indeed. It is indeed. That's if you have any followers, mate. Yeah. Because if you don't have any followers, anyway,
I'd love to do that with modules. You know, here's my module. Now it's someone else's problem.
What the hell happened?
No, don't work like that.
We're only getting 2 for some reason.
Oh.
I don't even know. I can't work out why we're only getting 2. We're supposed to get more than 2 people. Yeah. Technical issues. All right, we're going to have to deal with just the 2. Okay, what was your favourite meme out of the 2?
It was the 3rd one.
So, yeah. I like the 4th one.
It's my favourite. Yeah.
Just give me a sec. I'll see if I can get these back into you.
I'll vote for the one that was just for me and Rants.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't
There
you?
are Australians that watch this show. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
Yes, and welcome to all Australians watching the show.
I vote for the Led Zeppelin one. You know what
I can't vote for the Kiss one. I can't stand Kiss. So
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them either, to be honest.
they were pretty terrible, to be honest. If you listen to their stuff,
I like the
I
solo
make a
albums.
habit of. Sorry, I make a habit of not listening to Kiss's stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I like them
calendar
when
for
they made
yourself.
their
Don't listen
solo
today.
albums with around 1980, I think it was. But I haven't heard them since, and I didn't hear them before. So it was just that period.
By the way,
Ace Frehley song "Back in the New York Groove" is okay, but most of their stuff I can't stand. So.
I have managed to get the memes to work again, so we'll go back to here. I think it's this button. This one came across my feed, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Speaking of Kiss, this is why the Kiss theme is on here. So this is what happens when you're in another country and you're copying stuff and you don't have someone who speaks English to verify what you're doing. It's like, let's make some Led Zeppelin t-shirts.
cut and paste.
Yes.
Wouldn't
Wouldn't that be funny if they sold those at the concert?
Yeah.
And this is the other one that I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, we've got a stage for the band. It's the stage.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a
Hands
redneck
up who's-
stage.
Hands up who's ever been in a situation like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Not quite as bad as that, but definitely
Wow.
situations where you're just going, I'm not sure if I feel too safe doing this, guys. Kind of situation,
I did play a gig once where actually we were trying to make the floor go through because it was so rickety. We were jumping. Listen, the band were jumping up. We were all having a really good time, but the band were jumping up and down trying to make the floor go through.
I have seen a drum kit fall through.
Ah.
I can't remember where that was. It wasn't that long ago. It was on social media. I have seen a drummer and his whole drum kit go straight through, like an old hall or something that was rotting. Okay, now you can let us know what your favourite meme was.
It's gotta be the stage,
Sorry about the
isn't it?
Kiss theme.
Yeah, it's got to be the
Stage,
stage.
The stage.
Yeah.
Stage,
There's
yeah.
some truth to. There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
What are the chatties saying? Why is that scrolled all the way up there? That is weird.
That's at the beginning. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah. Chris Head says stage for Wagyu.
Yeah, let me just see if I can get this
Matt Brown
to work
stage.
again.
Korg says stage, so that's the winner. Yeah.
It's
There we
Gremlin
go.
Day.
I don't know why. Don't forget, I have updated the software, so there could be some bugs in it. We'll see what happens anyway. Kent's saying that we're saying a lot of things, none of it's good.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Speaking of saying a lot of things, that tends to be my problem. We have to go into news now. Yes. This week, all the backgrounds aren't even working. What's going on? Weird. Right. This week we have some interesting products coming through, and some of them you guys would know about, and some of them maybe you don't. And this one, I'm betting most of you don't know about this. This is by Unknown Devices. It's a product in development called the ISA or ESI or Easy. Let's not even. We don't have Brooksy here, our resident linguist. Anyway, there's a 7 and 8 minute ish video here we could play, but what I might do is I might just play a little bit of this for you guys.
thrilled to introduce you to Ace, Unknown Devices' next big thing and the star of this series. In this video, we'll delve into its current state and explore what lies ahead for this groundbreaking module. Ace is an 18 HP quad oscillator which draws inspiration from stars and planet systems mechanics, made up of orbits, gravity and other forces, with a unique playful UI. The challenge was to create a system where the somewhat abstract UI and the controls weren't just a catchy gimmick, but had direct, intuitive connections to the actual sound generation process.
I've bought one, there's lights on it.
Anyway, I think you guys get the idea. This is a pretty interesting module. So it's, like you said, it's like a quad voice oscillator, and it has this really interesting sort of circular planetary sort of style user interface. The whole thing, I guess, is more based on once you generate a voice sound, then what this kind of circular motion is doing to that voice sound is, generally speaking, it's to do with either pitch or modulation, and then you can plumb it into your rest of your eurorack gear. You know, plug it into a C-leg.
So it's an oscillator too.
It's basically an oscillator. Yeah.
Only singular. Okay.
Yeah. And I think from what I can work out, it's to do with FM synthesis to a large degree, because if you looked at a lot of those or heard a lot of those sounds on that video, you can really hear that digital
Very
FM
digital
sound. Yeah. This will definitely appeal to people who like to have unique things in their modular. So, you know, that could be something up your alley. Now, where this is at right now, it hasn't even gone to Kickstarter yet. This is just a really, really brand new release. And you'll notice too that this picture is different to what the prototype is that he showed. I think this is where he's now going to run with. He's going to run with a more wider module instead of the 18 HP. It's going to be about 24, or something. And you'll get more control on this. Like you know, instead of the 4 buttons on the right, you've got 8 buttons surrounding it, and they're going to be controlled and assigned and things like that. He's getting pretty busy with the software development side of this anyway. So, right, comments, questions about this? Not much more I can tell you.
It looks a lot like
I like
some
this video.
I have on the iPad.
Yeah.
There's some iPad apps that have that kind of look to it, even though there's not a lot of FM on the iPad. There's certain apps, but it's a clever mix of these orbital type apps on iPad that do mostly sequencers, not so much individual filters going around in a circle. But so it's a clever thing, and it's more FM is always fun. I like FM. A lot of people don't seem to like it. And I also looked up Ace. Wagyu confirmed this, but it means eternal or everlasting, Japanese. So
he does have, I think there's 2 other developers that are working with him. So he's like a one-man band, this guy, but he has 2 other people that are kind of helping him out, and he does mention their names, and one of them's a Japanese guy in the credits. So
yeah, but it's cool. The visual aspect is really nice. So.
Yeah. It reminds me of one of the sequences on the OP1.
Yeah.
There's a sequencer that sort of bounces things off walls. It reminded me of that a bit, actually. I think it looks great. It didn't sound great, if I'm honest. But I mean, if it's what you put into it.
It was whimsical sounding.
Never sound great.
Yeah. It had a whimsical kind of fascination about the sound of it.
Yeah.
But that's probably because you're
And was
trying
that
to
was that a
understand.
fox that ran across in the beginning?
Yeah, he's got some.
Yeah.
He's definitely got some
Was it a cat?
Japanese.
Yeah,
know,
sort of.
What do they
Cute,
call it?
yeah.
Hiragami or something?
Yeah.
Characters. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that kind of.
Yeah.
That's Ranz's dog.
It's my dog going nuts.
He likes
Yeah,
it.
Naruto, the fox kid running around on it.
Yes, Chris, you wanted to say?
I just wanted to say it was a fun video because it was very very much aimed at people like me because it was showing lots of code and speaking softly and all the good stuff. Yeah, no, it's my first thoughts about it was that looks really cool and really expensive, but some people that's what they're looking for. So yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. But again, I look at that and think, it would be so many more people would be able to get it if you just you lowered your sights in terms of, I don't. It's just my mentality at the moment, which is trying to get stuff out that's actually affordable for people. Whereas other people are approaching it from a different way, and that's totally valid. That's often where some of the brilliant stuff comes from, and it just trickles down to people like us who are trying to do things a little bit more diluted. But no, it's one to watch. It looks, and yeah, it does look fabulous. Module, I do like the look of it.
Where's the estimated price on this? It looks expensive, actually.
Oh, he's not even finished. Like, he hasn't even started proper development of the final version.
So
he's literally,
he's on
Sorry,
to the next
you go, Rant.
prototype, which you saw the picture of, So he'll be developing that, and then he'll start a Kickstarter. I think he does mention it in the video that the Kickstarter will be soon. But what I like about this guy is he's including people into the development stage. So he hasn't just gone to Kickstarter and gone, here, cool, here's our module, we're going to make this. He's kind of sneaking people in just before it gets to that. So he's got something that's almost there. I would say it's almost there. We're all scratching. Don't worry, you guys down there are scratching your heads. I'm scratching my head a little bit too. We're all scratching our head, but I think I can kind of get where he wants to go with this. By the way, you do have to watch the 7.5 or 8 minute video.
Yeah,
it'll give you more. There's another video as well on his channel.
He speaks very softly and slowly, so it takes a while to but it's pretty good stuff. Yeah.
But I'm big on this. I agree with Chris. I think sometimes people have these grandeur ideas. I think that's where you were going with it, Chris, weren't you? And you have to sometimes maybe trim it down a bit to sort of make it a bit more understandable by the us mere mortals out there. Because in a way, when we first saw the OP1, you guys probably forget, right? But when you first saw an OP1, it was bonkers, that thing. It was completely bonkers.
Toy. Yeah. It was a kid's toy.
Yeah.
And it was I would say it's a pretty slow burn to get that thing into the community. That was a very slow burn. So these sort of products could have that potential where they may sort of just very slowly trickle their way into the community. But if it's purely just an oscillator with modulation and pitch and some of these sort of mathematical vectoral sort of equations, like gravity and stuff like that. Not the first that we've seen. I think there was some orbit module that we saw last year that had the sort of similar.
Qubit did Pulsar.
Vector does some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
this thing,
but the. Oh, good.
Sorry, this thing had the interesting take in it. But I'll just pull something out of the video that may make it easier for people to understand just what it was doing. You can put zones on the screen, and when the planets actually go through those zones, that's when it'll do a sound. And so if you so the traditional thing is just to have a line divided by 8 for your 8 steps, but you can have really complicated shapes and balls and geometric shapes and stuff like that. So where planets go through them at slightly different timings, and that's kind of how it produces its rhythmical aspect of it, which I thought was I haven't seen that quite so much before.
I mean, it's a really not a great idea to show this, but I'm going to show it because it's a segue from Chris. So he does go into it a little bit here, where he goes, how does it work, right?
In the world of Ese, each of the 4 oscillators is visualized as a satellite revolving around a central planet. Their frequency is set by multiplying or dividing the central planet gravity by their identity, which goes from 1 to 4.
I didn't really want to show you guys this.
A fixed numeric constant.
It's like the game Gravitation, where you had to build your own solar system.
Satellites' positions, dubbed orbits, are driven by LFOs, with rates related to the emitting planet in a similar manner as the gravity pitch parameter.
Okay.
Another
he gets
force
to it.
in play in the system is the scope.
There we go.
There you
It is
go.
a force field that applies modulation when satellites interact with it. You'll find multiple options to choose from with various kind of interactions and modulations.
See, that got me.
Yeah. So there's some meat in it.
Although I have
like
to
I
be
said-
pedantic here. For people who saw the circular orbits, our orbits are elliptical, just so
Yeah.
you know. So don't think that's a proper
Yeah.
grammar of what our solar system looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at
Just
least
had to throw that out there.
I mean, actually, Henrik's a probably good person to sort of pitch this to because he's right. This is basically an oscillator, right? So it's an oscillator with four voices, and when you think about it, it's like one oscillator with 3 sub oscillators in a way. I mean, sub's not the right word, but 3
Operators in a way.
Yeah, operators is a better word. You're right. So they're related oscillators. Okay, so they're based on the original pitch of the first one. So you'll have a single CV bolt per octave control.
Yeah, it's very FM.
Very FM. Some people absolutely love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Kent's comment. You get a similar effect pushing the Hammond off a bridge.
That rotary speaker.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have more fun modules like this because the original Deptford stuff was all like test equipment, boring, gray, standard lettering, standard layouts and stuff, and they start getting more colorful stuff and graphics and all kinds of weird stuff. So it's fun to see this. Even though I probably wouldn't buy one because it's probably too expensive. It is cool. People do this.
Yeah, you can be
If
starting
you could
500.
add your own planets and asteroids, and they could gravitate
They
each
get
other.
perturbed. The asteroids come to
then
perturb
it would
your
be interesting.
sequence.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the next, I think. Next one, I think you guys are pretty much well aware of. But to be fair, I did not see this coming.
Looks like a Korg.
Oh my God, Ian!
Yeah.
I thought that as well. Honestly, I seriously thought that.
Slightly
Yeah,
larger.
even the modulation wheel is changed.
Gaia log. Yeah.
It
It's
did look like a
new-
mini log, didn't it?
monologue.
Monologue,
It's the
mini-log.
colon.
Minilog.
It's
Minilog,
Colin.
actually.
colon.
Colin Gaia too.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so for those who've been living under a rock, this is a new synthesizer by Roland called the Gaia 2, and it is based loosely on their original Gaia. Mind you, though, it isn't
Very loosely.
quite as powerful technically as the old one, with only 24 voices. I think the old one had 64, if I remember correctly. Someone want to fact check that for me? I'm actually really happy.
Voices.
I'm actually really, really happy because I sold my Gaia about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So I got rid of it just in time. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what Roland say about it. It's a 5-minute video. We won't show you the whole 5 minutes, but yeah.
This is Gaia 2, a synth with a new virtual analog and wavetable engine with unique phase and shape modulations to create incredible new sounds, as well as classic analog tones. Gaia 2 sports a dedicated wavetable oscillator and 2 classic analog shapeable oscillators. A new variable filter architecture with drive and headroom controls going beyond the possibilities of the conventional analog circuits, perfect for nailing the kind of sounds that modern music styles can demand.
Stop saying analog.
To spice up your sounds even more, Gaia 2's powerful effects section boasts a variety of Roland favourite effects, as well as the addition of some new and incredible sounding effects, like the shimmer reverb and modulation reverb.
You know, I think there's a lot more in that video. Roland, you are a company that says you don't chase analog ghost or whatever it is that you said. Stop saying analog. If you're completely void of analog, stop mentioning the word analog in your digital stuff. Like, just leave it. You know, you've parted with it. Stop saying it. It really, really pisses me off. It's a digital synth, people. It's a digital synth, and it's allowed to sound or mimic or emulate or anything like that. But you've got to say those words. You can't just blatantly say it's an analog. This is an analog sound. It's not an analog sound. It's a digital sound. So let's get that right, because I think that's marketing trickery. So for a start, it's a beautiful looking synth. I think they've done a really good job with the design. The previous guy looked atrocious. It was a horrible looking thing. Plasticky.
Plasticky, yeah.
It's a bit silver. I'd like
it's a bit silver. Like you said, Ian, it looks like a mini monologue.
They will do it. They will do a dark one as a limited edition at some point.
Oh, of course they will. That's exactly what Korg do. So yeah, exactly.
So the Minilog X or whatever it was called, the one that had the wavetable oscillators.
XD.
Yep.
XD.
So this is almost exactly the same as that, except that is actually an analog synth. Hello, Roland.
But it doesn't just look like the Minilog and it's being silver metallic. The knob caps are a Minilog. The touchpad is like a wave state mod wave kind of thing. They totally copied the Korg thing.
It's the first time I've ever seen Roland do that. I think. Yeah,
it's really blatant.
It's a bit odd.
It is odd. It does have the Zen Core engine in it for those people who do like the sound of the Zen Core engine. And I think I mentioned before it's either 22 or 24 voices. I think it's 24 if I remember reading it correctly. Lots of effects, sequencer, arpeggiators, all that stuff you'd come to expect in a Roland synth. Pretty cheap. It's $8.99 US or $15.99 if you live here in the land of ripoffs. We have Kiss concerts though. Yeah, can't be that bad. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. I'm not sure if it's something for me. They started with all the sounds I don't like, all the harsh sounds. I need something warm. I know the Hydrosynth when it came out, it was everybody thought it could only do the harsh sounds, but it can do really warm sounds, and they're not showing it here. Later in the video, they are showing some, but
the Sonic State video was a bit better in terms of showing.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, I saw that.
David Ireland.
That's because he likes goes with modulation. So
and jazz chords, yeah.
David does a good job of Roland stuff, to be honest.
Yeah,
but don't forget, this is Roland's official marketing video that we're watching, and I have a kind of a policy when I'm showing products. Let's have a look what the company themselves want to tell us about it, not what like David is he's a champion. Like Roland should be saying, David, you can do our videos from now onwards because we suck. Because we keep saying
his Ira videos were good.
Yeah, his Ira videos were amazing. He probably needs to have a check sent to him, seriously, from Roland for the amount of Ira products that he's probably sold, based on purely on what his own ability was. And Nick as well. Nick's egging him on as he has in the past, right? So, okay, what do you guys love about it? What do you hate about it?
I'm ambivalent about it, really. I didn't like. I never wanted the first guy, if I'm honest, and I just think, no. I'm saying if it floats your boat, fair enough. But I'd rather spend my $800, £700 somewhere else. I think it didn't really do anything that's different for me. You know, so
Ian, is that similar to their previous product that they released? The was it the SH4, I think it was.
SH4D.
Yeah.
I never played with that.
SH4D.
So,
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah, but there again, I was never that much. I mean, I've got the little tweak thing, which I haven't touched very much actually, and I quite like. The thing I really like about that is the chorus and the reverb. I suspect the effects on this will be really, really good because I think that they excel at that sort of stuff. But
Well, they need to have good effects, don't they?
yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. I it's not my thing, man.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Ian. Why do you have to put good effects on a synth? Because the synth doesn't sound good.
Because Rants, the shimmer verb has become the equivalent of air conditioning on cars when they didn't all come with air conditioning. It was like, but does it come with air conditioning? Why, yes, it does, sir. Does it come with a shimmer verb?
like the clear
Well, yes,
coat.
it does, sir.
You sell it with
What
clear
does it
coat
do?
on.
I don't know, but we got it.
Yeah. Look,
getting
everyone will be different, Chris. Don't worry, but there will be people that will like this.
Oh yeah,
But
sure.
is this something that you would get? I know you do like the Roland stuff.
I have a mini freak. This is 1.6 times the cost of the mini freak, and it's more polyphony. It's got a wavetable synth, which the freak doesn't have. But no, I would get it because not because there's anything wrong with it, but it's just doesn't really fit any space sonically in the studio, in the stuff I'm doing or what I'm searching for. It just doesn't really do that. The only thing that got me a little bit interested is that one pad sound that David played, which was pretty amazing. But for one sound, and I'm sure you could get that sound many, many other different ways with
Roland
all of the
Cloud
gear.
people.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's like same old story. It's like we're getting a lot of synths that can do a lot of things now, and a lot of overlap between them. And it's really just down to the skill of the sound designers and us, really, to bring that stuff out of them. We don't have to maybe in the past there was a lot more where you had to get the right gear to make that sound. Now we're still in the era where I want that sound, I have to get that particular piece of vintage gear, for example. But to make a sound like that, we're much closer now to where it really doesn't make a huge difference anymore.
Let's just have a quick look at the layout while we're at it, right? Is this groundbreaking design?
No.
Have we seen
it's not groundbreaking,
Have we seen
it's
touch
better.
XY pads before? Yes.
I mean,
It's kind of like a
Novation X Station.
it's kind of like
Sliders,
it's
knobs, and
resolved.
XY pad.
I'd say it's
the
well
XY.
resolved.
Yeah, is the XY pad in the wrong place? In the
I
middle.
kind of feel it is.
Right hand side would be better, or
Yeah.
left hand side.
Just
Or,
like
above,
on-
or maybe even above the mod wheels. Yeah.
Yeah,
And move those 6 buttons that are there. That probably would have been a good spot for it. I think Ian's smack on it again. Yeah.
It's my day. I mean, I'll be honest with you as well. I would spend a bit more money and I'd buy a Hydrasynth.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, I have one anyway.
But
it's not that much
gets
more to get the 48 note, is it?
Yeah,
It's pretty much what
it gets
Henry
the
did.
tingle.
Oh,
on the
that.
skin.
And if you don't need the keyboard, get the desktop, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Or get the micro, whatever it's called,
the
the small one.
Oh,
the
the
Explorer.
Explorer, that's it. Yeah.
Explorer's cheaper, yeah.
Same engine, right? Just not some of the features of the keyboard, which are nice. Poly aftertouch, ribbon controller, those sort of things are nice, to be fair.
Yeah, this one else it's got aftertouch.
Yeah, it does actually. It does. It has poly aftertouch, doesn't it?
What, this?
Hasn't it got like a sort of
the Gaia.
plug-in, plug-out thing?
No,
as
the
well?
Explorer.
Similar.
No, the
Yes,
Explorer
yes,
does,
but
but the
the Gaia
as
too.
the Roland got aftertouch.
Oh, I don't know. I can
I
find
don't
out.
think so.
There
It
wasn't
did
the-
say that it's got a better keyboard than I can't
The
remember
previous
which-
one.
No,
which-
they just said it was the same keyboard as out of the
Oh, it's
Jupiter.
the Juno, was it?
The Jupiter
No,
one,
Juno
or-
X, was it?
Juno X. That sounds right.
spec.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, they said it was.
But then you say it's like you can do like a plug-out type system from Roland Cloud. Not that I'm on Roland Cloud, and I probably never will be.
Yeah, they did say that it does have a plug out, one slot, I think.
Yeah, for the Zen core.
it comes with the 101 synth.
Yep.
From the factory, but you can download.
So this
it
is
on
not
the cloud.
looking back.
This is the thing that I couldn't get a straight answer for, and it may be that I need to rewatch the Nick Sonic State video, but I was under the impression this is not ACB at all. I thought this was just purely Zencore. But can anyone confirm if this does have any of the ACB in it? Because that would tilt it in a bit of a more positive light.
Well, I can't see anything about Aftertouch for a start, because so I suspect it hasn't got it.
This is anything about Aftertouch.
It gets really confusing on the Roland Cloud now with what engine underneath. I mean, are they even producing?
Mine up.
Yes. Do they produce perhaps some of their models in different flavors? I don't know.
Doesn't say. I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it either. Pre-installed model expansion SH101. Doesn't say if it's ACB. Chatties, they're shouting us. Anyone in chat reckon it's got ACB? No, it's all Zencore. That's what I thought. I think it's all Zencore. That's not like at the end of the world. Zencore sounds pretty lush. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. There's some really, really cool Roland Cloud stuff with Zencore. Really, really cool. It's not bad. It's just that they keep flogging this analog word. They keep flogging it, right? Like a dead horse, pretty much. Well,
it's like an MC707 in a keyboard form.
Yeah.
So as we're going through all this now, is the price starting to go, it's getting a little bit high for what it is?
Well, that was the problem with the original Gaia. I thought when the original Gaia first came out, it was really, really overpriced. And then I think it was a way like down the track, maybe a couple of years down the track, Roland just kept pushing the synth out as if like someone, it was daddy's son's project. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, we've got to keep pushing it. Someone will eventually buy it. Just put the price down a little bit. It's probably one of those sort of things that happen. We are really, really shitting on this right now. Let me tell you. Sorry, Roland, but
yeah.
Well, we started positive. We started quite positive, Rant.
Wagyu, who is obviously Google, has said that it's not ACB, it's all RANs, it's the crappy ABM template models.
Yeah, it's Zencore. Yeah, which is what I thought. Wouldn't it? Don't you think? Like, there's little things that Roland miss the boat on. They always miss the boat on stuff. Like when they brought out the System 8, they missed the boat on Aftertouch. When they brought out this, they missed the boat on ACB. Like, this really, when you think about it, what was the worst IRA synth that they brought out? It was the System 1, wasn't it? With that crappy keyboard. Okay, so this could have been.
But it had scatter and had the other cool stuff on it. So
this could have been the next System 1 with ACB and a proper keyboard with Aftertouch, not this crappy thing that was on the original System 1. And they missed the boat. If they want to mention the word analog, at least ACB has some sort of remnants to actually trying really, really hard to replicate what analog synths are doing, because it's doing it at the circuit level. It's mimicking capacitors and heat variations, and it's doing all that stuff. That's what they've pre-programmed in those FPGAs or DSP chips that they've got. But Zencore is
something made by committee. Like, let's put a little bit of this in here, a little bit of that in there, a little bit of that in there. It's all committee crap.
Yeah. What's Cresshead saying? Someone's
we don't know how Roland are working internally. Of course, I think it's all that Cresshead was trying to make the point.
That's all right. I don't think they do.
Yeah. It doesn't seem that way.
He's just saying what we're saying.
Just seems a bit strange, yeah.
Just making sure StreamYard someone wasn't hanging in StreamYard there. Okay, beautiful. Next. Bye, Gaia.
Bye.
Now, this thing came out during the week. The CS Mini. I'm confused about this thing.
God, it's ugly. It's really ugly.
Okay, so the first thing is in their Facebook post, they talk about this thing as having polyphony. And we're going to start getting in arguments about what's polyphonic and what's paraphonic, and let's not go there, people. Anyway, so what this is one of those little Volca lookalike synthesizers that Behringer haven't released any yet of, to the market, that is. And this is based on the Yamaha CS80 voice. It's got the CS voice, apparently. And obviously they've been doing some, reverse engineering on the CS80 to produce this stuff. I personally think this should just be a Eurorack module, and compete with Black Corporation, because they've got Deckard's voice as a Eurorack voice.
It would probably look better.
Probably look better.
Yeah. Looks like a sideboard.
It does. And it looks wonky. Is it me? Does that look like it's...
Yeah, no. The reception is just slightly... Yeah.
I think maybe the camera might have been on the wrong angle.
It's the camera, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not quite flat
it's
on.
Definitely slightly smaller at one
camera.
end.
I like the way you say it's all the camera.
Yeah.
Someone's going to love this. Behringer, I don't know if it's me.
Well, the price, yeah.
I think they're about $99, aren't they? US?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
For the price, man, what the hell, right? So.
70 quid.
But
That's all right.
Can you just imagine you're
I don't-
going to have to buy a dining table from IKEA to fit all these little gadgets on, like tiny little, like they look like little pimples on your dining table.
I genuinely don't think I could live with it, though. That's the thing. It may sound great for 70 quid, but I think it's so ugly that I really would want to literally hide it and put it under. I'd put it under a towel. Try and play it under a towel. It's horrible. It's just ugly.
Put a brown paper bag on it, Ian.
Yeah. Actually, no. You want, Chris? You want a double bag of it? It needs to be double bagged.
Double bagged. with a squeeze of toothpaste in the middle, just in case the inner bag breaks.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a real bad joke. I shouldn't be saying that on live streams. Okay, so no one wants to buy this.
Yeah,
for £70.
Unlike you, Rant, when they bring out the Eurorack module, then I'll look at it.
But let's have a quick look at it anyway. It's got a USB connectivity on it. It's got MIDI DIN. It's also got some sort of square wave sync, which would probably copy the Volcas. It's got a
the previous Mini, the VS Mini. Did it have MIDI in, or was it only USB?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
For sure,
I think it was only USB, and we argued about that it was a bad idea. So we needed USB to control it. But this time they included MIDI. I'm sure we talked about it last time.
I'm pretty sure we did, but I just can't remember. Yeah.
No,
but this
still not interesting.
I'm looking at this voice here, right? So the most famous thing about a CS80 voice would be the seesaw, right? The seesaw, which, if you guys remember, it's actually a sawtooth wave, and it has a little pulse on the end of it that makes it look wonky, right? So I wonder if this has got it. I can't see any diagrams here that show that it has a seesaw. It doesn't say seesaw anywhere. Can you see the word seesaw anywhere?
No.
Yeah. So
you could put it on the end of a seesaw.
It could just be. This could just be a 3340 oscillator, guys. I'm not kidding.
Launch into space. Yeah.
This could just be a 3340 oscillator, and they just wait.
That would be
on it.
a tragedy if it was.
How do we know? I mean, yeah. It's more like binoculars.
Back to the brown paper bag. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're not excited about this. Okay, fair enough, guys.
No.
I'm just reading Kent's
Next
comment.
These guys, AM Synths, they are really flogging the System 100 stuff right now. In fact, they've got a little mini site that's on their website now. You can go to their website and click on the link to their mini System 100. Because these guys, don't forget, we're in collaboration with development with Behringer to release the Behringer System 100 clone modules for Eurorack. Now, this is called the Diode 01, and it's based on the System 100. This is a Eurorack modular synth, I think this is 84 HP. So this would fit in a nifty case, or it would fit in a Moog type desktop case. Anyway, so maybe I've said it wrong because they're not. The other modules are System 100M. What's he saying? Anyway,
look at the holes to mount it with. Why is there
this is a prototype? Yeah,
okay.
this is a
the
prototype.
Bottom left. Yeah. There's a hole missing.
Yep. But anyway, I would love to see or hear a video on this AM synths. Come on. One of the problems I have with AM synths, I'm a big fan of them. They're based in the UK. They make some good quality products. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have System 100M Eurorack modules through Behringer. So there's some pat on the back. But please, guys, do some videos. Have someone. I mean, I'll do them for free for you. I don't care. Do some videos. Let's hear this stuff. Let's hear what it sounds like. And also, when they release their modules, it's almost, I don't know what's going on, actually. Is it to do with parts? Is it to do with something? But there's just absolutely no rhyme or reason at what order they release their modules out. So, for example, when I bought that, the keyboard control thing for the 2500 module, I'd been waiting for about 2 years for that thing to come out because Wagoo told me, hey, get one. I'm like, I can't. And then 2 years later, we've got them in stock, and I bought one, and then they ran out of stock. Probably that was the only one that I bought it. And then 2 months later, they bring more out, and they've reduced the price, and I'm like, what are you doing? So I'm kind of thinking like...
Yeah, they are weird.
They kind of doing some berserky stuff.
Yeah,
I've been following them.
Go, Chris, first.
Do we know how big the operation is? Oh, sorry, go, Chris.
Go to you in a second.
Yeah. So I've been following them on Instagram for a while, and they are big on announcing things and never normally able to get them. By the time you open the link, they're all sold out. I don't know if that's because they're trying to do a deliberate scarcity type thing, or whether it is just something that they're not quite in control of and they're not really trying to be in control of it. It kind of, it's an interesting one. This is puzzling. As I said, they've got some great engineering and some nice design, and they always seem to have great intentions. So it's just weird that it doesn't quite marry up with their actual sort of sales and business plan type thing. Maybe they've just been thrown by the whole chip crisis, and it's really thrown them. I
don't think it is a one-man operation. I think that there is one guy who's kind of permanently there, but I thought there's more than one person there. Well, you should jump onto StreamYard, because I wouldn't mind hearing.
That's what I was going to ask: is how big an operation are they? If it is just a one-man band on his own, then you can cut him some slack, really, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. But
yeah.
It's constructive feedback from me. I'm not bashing them. I really would like to.
Yeah. I mean,
I want this company to
like
do more.
I'd like, not being into modular, but I'd like to play with it.
Yeah,
I'd like to have a go with it.
Yeah.
I guess it's a bit like
Andre
what
from
you were saying
Feedback Modules. He sends me stuff because he knows that I'm going to show it and I'm going to demonstrate it, and people are going to see it and hear it. I'm not asking for them to send me free stuff. Don't get me wrong.
No.
What I'm asking though is someone like just down the road, wherever they are in the UK, they've got plenty of synth guys on YouTube. Just send someone one of your modules, get them to put it on YouTube so that we can hear it, we can see it in operation, as opposed to just seeing these odd Facebook posts like this. I really want to hear what it sounds like. So
it will look good in a nifty case.
It would. It would look awesome.
Yeah. Ranzee, I have to go. But I hope I know you and Chris will probably be sleeping, but I hope to see everyone tonight.
We'll see you then.
All right.
Well, they'll see you then.
Yeah.
Not us.
Good luck.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Cheers, mate.
See you, Henrik.
Now there is one more thing I want to show. And that's this. The XR1. Now, this came across my desk on Reddit. Actually, I was actually reading Reddit, which I'll actually show you. Let me just pause the video. Okay. Hopefully this works. This is a Reddit video, so I don't know if I'm going to get a copyright strike or what the hell is going to happen here. But anyway, let's go.
Yeah, God knows.
Let's unmute this well. Let's pause it there. I did have some information about this. Not much, so don't get too excited. This was shown at some Detroit sort of
music store. Yeah, is it a music store or
I forget what it was called.
Modular, Detroit Modular, which I think
Detroit
is a music
Modular.
store, isn't it?
Might be a music store. Anyway, the XO1. This is called Audio Enjoyer. It's a new groove box with built-in Teensy microprocessor, Teensy 4.1 for those playing along at home. It powers basically everything. It powers all the sequencing and sounds and everything. It features 16 track per pattern. It has a drum machine. It is based on a sort of TR-909 sort of style. It does have sampling and synthesis elements in it. The tracks are monophonic and each can host a sample, a sound, MIDI data, or CV. And the first 4 tracks can also be used as 4 monophonic synth voices. There isn't any polyphony on this, but he says in development it's not fixed yet. There may be. It's basically going to depend on whether the Teensy can handle it, I think. Because it's still in development, the prototype is going to be for the Machina Bristronica. So that's coming up, isn't it? In the UK?
That's today.
In Bristol?
It's today.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
it's today.
So that will be shown there. So go check that out if you're down that way. You've got a micro SD card on the back, which you can store stuff. It supports mono, raw, and stereo wave files for the samples. Built-in sequencer, like I said, is 909 style, and yeah, interesting sort of touchpad thing down the bottom, and also the 909 style buttons on it. Looks pretty cool. It does have stereo ins and out on the back, 5-pin MIDI DIN. You can't see it on the video. 4 pairs of CV gate outputs, giving you an 8 CV gate outs with a plus 10 voltage range and a USB port as well. Yeah, don't know what the price will be. I'm pretty sure this is just another development sort of thing. But anyone who is heading down to Machina Bristonica, ask him some questions. What are you going to sell it for? How long is it going to take? Is it going to be Kickstarter? Is it going to be whatever? I had a look at the Reddit post. Couldn't see anything about that on the Reddit post.
Kind of come out of nowhere, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've not heard anything about it. Yeah. It's just like,
yeah,
boom, fully formed.
I think
Get
there's some
back
more
on.
information on Synth Anatomy. I think he put an article up on his website just after I found out about it. So he's pretty on the ball. Tom is on Synth Anatomy. Big shout out to him. So go check. There's a bit more information on his website if you want to check more out, and some links and things like that. Cool. Yeah. Does this kind of interest anyone? This sort of stuff, like a sequencer based on a Teensy controller, or
It's interesting, but it's not something I want to particularly own. It's like I haven't bought a lot of. You'd think I'd probably be buying lots of DIY sound generation kits, but that's kind of not what I'm into, which is odd because of DIY. But I don't know. It just doesn't satisfy that. I've got other things that satisfy that kind of need. But anyway, about
the tricky buttons on it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what I kind of like about it is the sort of SB1200 style square buttons. The LEDs look really authentically old gallium arsenide LEDs from the 70s and 80s, and the whole
I was thinking 70s.
the rest of it. It's obvious to me that this is intentional, and he's trying to capture something of that. So that intrigues me. You know, I want to know a bit more about what his philosophy was. You know. or is it just I wanted it to have a certain skin, and I decided I'd just take inspiration from that era, but it's just about the groove box. That's really what was driving it. I don't know.
Well, Goose on the money, if you're reading the chat, and I was kind of thinking the same thing when I saw this. I don't know if this is a good idea to release this product at the moment, because this baby is still on its way out.
Yeah.
And the major difference, someone will pick it up, will be that this won't be playing samples. This will be playing just a 909 style drum machine. So that would be the major difference between the two. But
also the Lin drum might be coming soon as well. The bin drum.
Well,
bin drum, yeah.
I'm actually really excited about the Lin drum, or the LM drum, or whatever they want to call it.
Lum drum.
There's a couple of reasons why I'm excited about it. Number one, I mean, I'm not going to buy one unless I've actually touched one in the flesh this time. This is going to be I must touch one in the flesh first. The main reason for it is, you guys know I'm a massive MPC fan, and Roger Lin is basically, he's the grandfather of MPC. So if you've ever used a Lin product, it does have an MPC flair to it. This is pre-MPC days, right? So the earlier products he did, they run on a similar sort of mindset to the way the MPCs run, in a very simplistic sort of way, right? But if you're really attuned to an MPC sort of logic, it'll be, straight into that Lin drum sort of mindset, I believe. Anyway, well, when I've played with the Lin drum, I had no problem at all using it. It was very, very easy to use. Probably one of the simplest drum machines I've ever used in my life, actually. And the only reason why I don't own one is because I live in Perth, in Western Australia.
Yeah.
We don't have them floating around here like Andy has in guitar shops and garage sales down the street.
Well, we do have guitar trees, though. Guitars growing trees here.
We do have. Anyway, so Lin drum's exciting. I think Roger Lin's also backed another project too. That
yes, there's an expensive. I think it's come out. This guy's he's redeveloped with new chips and everything. A Lin drum, but plus, if you like, and Roger Lin has backed that. Yeah, a modern take on it, because there was a video of them both together. I think it's quite expensive. I think it's several $1,000s.
Luma One, that's what it was called.
Luma One, that's the one. That's it. Yeah.
Now
and I have to say,
massive.
Having had a few conversations with Roger Lin over email, because we were going to stock Linstruments at one point, he is one of the loveliest people in our industry.
Oh yeah,
he's a real gentleman. He's a really nice guy. Yeah,
he's very approachable at shows. I talked to him at Synthplex. Yeah,
he's one of these guys that if you told him you had a problem with something, he'd sit there and help you work it out. That's the sort of person he is.
He does a monthly Linstrument sort of Zoom call where anybody can just have a chat to him, which I've never done it because I've never needed to, but he does all that every month. He's a really nice guy.
The Instrument's awesome too, by the way. Anyway, going back to we went off on a massive tangent there. Going back to this thing, the XR1. Good luck to the guy doing this, but just make sure that you kind of know what your market is. Just really be careful with that. Like, what is going to
play with it?
What is going to be the unique thing about this?
Reminds me of my SU700.
I mean, this could just be where a bloke has gone, I need to see if I can make something like a TR-909, but I want to modernize it. And let's see, could be just a project and then a few of his mates have said, hey, you should sell that. It could be that, right? But then he's going to start to really realize that the bigger picture out there is there's products floating around the world that are going to compete with this, and he's going to have to look at what is unique about this thing. So what do you guys think's unique about it? I mean, I'm struggling.
I'm not sure. I'd want to play with it. But I would. The problem with it playing with it in a show is that you're not going to spend enough time with it. You need to spend time with it, I think. To really find out whether you really like it or not, or what it can really do for you. Yeah. Well, actually, if I'd have moved down south, I would have been at Bristol today.
Yeah.
It's literally, from where we're looking, it's literally 30 minutes on a train.
It's like the next city, basically.
Yeah. There's Bath in between, but yeah. So, but I'd have been going. I think Brooks is down there with Jim Glue. They were talking about going.
I think I actually haven't spoken to Brooksy for a couple of weeks now, so wouldn't have a clue. Right. Okay. So we are. I think we're at the end of everything. We are. That is it for products. What was your favourite this week? Because we rubbished Roland, didn't we? Poor Roland.
Yeah. What's the favourite? I think that AM synth.
Yeah, AM
synth. If I'm honest.
Yeah, it's not out.
Yeah, I think I want to. I'm more interested in that than anything.
It is interesting, isn't it? The AM synth. Like, just give us some audio. You've got a prototype there. Just like, what are you scared of? If you're not good at playing stuff, like me, I'm crap at playing. Get someone who's good at it. You're living in the UK. There's millions of people that are good at playing synths in the UK. I mean, geez, it's probably, dare I say it, the synthesizer world in the UK is probably one of the biggest in the world. It's probably if you were to sell a synth, the first place you'd want to go is either the US or the UK. That would be maybe Japan. That would be it.
And I quite like the fact it's made in West Sussex. It's made in the UK. I really like that. I'm all for promoting small British companies.
Yeah.
We need more. Although let's face it, it's there's an awful lot of stuff out there. It's a pretty congested market. Is synths generally, but
it's a tough market.
If they, yeah.
Frankly,
he does put videos up, but not many.
Yeah. Frankly, if it had been more available, I probably would have bought 3 or 4 modules from these guys by now. But literally every time I've gone there, it's been too late. So
he did post.
That's just my experience
on his Facebook about a month or two ago that he has changed some of his manufacturing stuff so that it'll help him get some products out quicker. I read about it. I think he's got somewhere in China that's helping him out. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
And I'm looking forward to that cute little Behringer synth. It's so cute.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Cute little boxy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I do
guys,
not want
Andy
to see
is
any video
being serious. He's being serious, guys.
Are you being?
I'm not
joking,
gonna get it anyway.
Andy?
Buddy.
He's going to get
Oh,
it.
come
I
on,
know
man.
he's going to get it.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Got all
know
those
it.
goddamn
Nah.
Volcas and
Yep.
and
I mean,
boutiques and
actually, if you come from a design point of view, if you look at Volca, the Volca design is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah.
Whereas this thing, it's probably the ugliest synth I think I've ever seen. I just couldn't live with it. I really couldn't.
I think the one with the joystick is even more uglier. The vector synth they're doing.
VS.
Yeah,
The VS.
Yeah, that's uglier.
They're all
That's
pretty
just for
now.
Ian. Hi,
The
Ian.
synth is,
Yeah, thank
module
you.
looks
I mean,
great.
honestly, it winds me up so much the way it looks.
It's pressing all the wrong buttons.
I would buy one just to throw it at the wall. Yeah, and I would film it. I would happily pay 70 quid and then literally throw it at a brick wall to see it smash.
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
I've seen worse designs than that.
Oh,
I
I'm sure,
really
me
have.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway. Okay. Speaking of awesome stuff, how about we put Steve on the spot since he's snuck into StreamYard?
Yeah.
I honestly think he's like. There's people chaffing at the bit right now to find out what's some of the cool stuff you've got in your modular there, bud. Are you okay to do this?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Might make. Let me just move my camera because it might make everyone sick for a minute.
Oh, he's going to move the whole thing.
So,
Oh, fantastic. Look at this.
So over there we got the cubic chords with quad VCA data, and then I've got a few of the Behringer System 100 stuff.
So is that the full? Is that the full System 100 kit there?
No, there's elements of it missing. So I don't have the sequencer.
Right.
And I don't have the phaser. Yeah, I don't have the phaser bit.
Kidding.
Yeah. So there's bits of it, and I still need to collect. But that was the early days of getting started with the modular.
Yeah.
I decided to go down that route because it just was least expense, really, just to get a feel of whether or not I liked it. And you know, I know Behringer have got a bit of a reputation for copying stuff, but you know, in all fairness, they're offering quality products at a reasonable price to help people get going, and I think it's fair play to them for that. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, definitely those ones for sure.
Yeah. And then down there, I've got a couple of Dope for stereo mixers, a Clouds clone. Oh, sorry, it's not focusing very well. And then the black stereo delay, and I've got a little Baby 8.
That Erica Synths black stereo delay is analog, based on a BBD, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. But it's still good. I can still clock it, and you know, that was one of the first delays that I ever got.
It's a good one.
Oh, they're beautiful modules. Beautiful modules.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
There's a bit of a gap there for something. Not quite.
You get most of theirs DIY too.
That Baby 8 there was a DIY module that I built.
Nice.
I got the two sound filters there. I watched one of Tim Shoebridge's videos on the it sounded like from the OB6 with the notch filter. So he was kind of influential in the purchase of those. And then of course there's the Disting EX as well.
Yeah.
I built that little MIDI expander next to it just for the just so I can connect it up to MIDI. I just went on their website and reversed engineered what I could see in the picture, and it worked all right, so it was fine.
So that's for the Disting, is it? So you can use the MIDI features on it?
Yeah, so I can take advantage of the polyphonic stuff in there.
Nice.
I've got the Turing machine, which I built.
Yes, that's through Thonk, that one, isn't it? The music. Yep.
Yeah, it's a kit from Thonk.
And then I've got I believe that's one of the better ones too, from what I've been told.
Yeah. I mean, I spent quite a few hours messing around with that. It's really is good.
There's like 2 or 3 expanders for it too. It's nice with all the goodies.
Yeah. They do a voltage one as well. That's just gates, that one, I think.
There's a voltage one as well. Yeah.
And next to that is there's an Ornament and Crime running Hemispheres.
Yay. So whose Ornament and Crime is that? Who makes that one?
It's one of the clone ones that I got, but I've got a Magpie fascia for it because I think they're quite stylish.
Yeah, that looks nice. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So I was kind of stealthy.
Yeah, very stealthy.
Yeah,
and I like how the bottom row has the reverse paint on it as well, so you can see that's
outputs.
The outputs, yeah. Nice. Yep. And you got your PAMs next to that.
PAMs next to that. So I did the upgrade. Well, it's not so much an upgrade, but it's a new fascia you can buy for it, and it also changes the lens to make it a lot brighter.
Yep.
So it's quite good.
Transparent.
You just seen how many people were selling their Pamela's new workout to get the Pamela's Pro workout. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was like Reverb was just flush with Pamela's new workout. because everyone was
I mean,
hating on that
that
screen.
new lens. Yeah, that new lens on it it's like night and day. It's brilliant. It's,
it looks
it's
the
so
part.
much, yeah, it's so much better. And of course, it's black as well. So
Yeah.
I wanted a black one. And then on the bottom row of this, we've got the expander and stereo moon phase from Patching Panda.
You've done a good job on that, mate.
It will take a long time to build that.
Yeah.
So many knobs.
Yeah. And there's a sequential switch from Dopefer and a branches clone here as well, which is good.
Just backing up one sec to the moon phase. What are your thoughts on that?
It's kind of a bit hit and miss, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've not really delved into it. It's a bit wishy-washy, I think, for the moment. I don't know. I'm perhaps using it wrong, but it was kind of a compromise because I wanted the stereo dipole from SSF.
Right.
That's a really nice filter.
Yep.
But that was a bit of a compromise getting the moon phase simply because it was a stereo one. That was my thinking behind that. What is logo? I think.
What is the filter based on that one? Is it based on a Moog ladder or is it something else?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
Because I've not delved much into the technology behind it. It's more on what it sounds like.
Yeah.
For me, that I like more than anything else. Yeah. It does sound quite good, and with it being stereo as well, I've kind of. I follow a lot of people's videos, YouTube videos, and I get quite inspired by some of the sounds that they make. Dean from Electronic Sounds, I like watching his videos on some of the modular patching series that he's done. So a lot of the stuff I have in this rack is kind of inspired by a lot of his videos.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. And then if we move across a bit, we've got a nano AD quad ADS envelope. You can either have AD or AS, I think, on that one. And then I've got a Platts clone, the Instruo quantizer, thingamabob. And then I've got ham and egg, yeah. It's an interesting module. And of course, there's the bass line from America Synths and the sample drum. One of the things I struggled with at first was getting drums in the rack for a reasonable price, and that's why I sort of went for that. And all this has gone over time, so it's there are decisions which I look back on now and I think, well, why the hell did I do that? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But
to be fair, Erica makes some brilliant drum modules. I mean, the Pico range are a great cheap way of getting into drums into your rack.
Yeah, Pico's good.
Yeah, and the build quality as well is amazing. I mean,
they are. Yeah,
there's no wobbly knobs here. It's fantastic. Really,
that bassline module is lovely too.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. And with it being a sort of a complete voice as well, it was sort of advantageous, really, because. Yeah, some of the other modules that I've got in the other case are single voice as well, just to cut down on the amount of HP that I use. They're quite good value for money.
You tend to sort of go that way after a while, don't you? Sort of think to yourself, I don't need to have separate modules for oscillator, envelope, filter, VCA. I could just cut it all down if it was just a single voice.
Yeah,
so it's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, you have got the option to patch out as well if you want. So if you wanted to use a different filter, of course you can do. That's good. And then down here we've got the drums, what we're looking at.
the sequencer. Yeah, okay, now I can see it.
Drum sequencer. Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing of beauty. That would have set you back a bit.
It's nice. It is nice. I changed the buttons on it. Of course, I didn't want the white ones.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Yeah.
Are they like cherry black keys or something from a computer shop. Is that what they are?
Yeah, I mean, you buy them from America since they do charge you about 50 quid for a set of keys, but you know, I'm sure it's standard. So
they look like cherries, don't they? What do you reckon, Andy? I reckon they're cherries.
If you swapped around, you probably could. Yeah.
If you're into gaming keyboards, nice. they look like cherry keys. Do they have a clickety clack sort of action to them? Yeah, I would not be surprised if they're cherry or cherry clones of some sort. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So moving on, I built the radio music as well.
Oh, nice.
And then so I swapped that. It was the Korg organ when I first got it, but I bought the other faceplate as well, just in case I wanted to swap this firmware over. That's a good thing from Music Thing Modular.
Yeah, they make some good stuff.
Yeah. Of course,
Darren would like the Qubit.
Qubit. Yeah, the Nautilus.
Yes, lots of pretty lights.
Yeah, that's a relatively new acquisition. That it sounds amazing. I think.
Speaking of Pico,
I've got, there's an envelope generator from them, and this is just a buffered mult for CVs. And of course, there's the black sequencer.
Love this thing. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we're back to the other end of the Bafako.
Yes.
And then whether I can reach this far.
But you can just point at it. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So we've got like the muscle module there. I use as a compressor, so I can use that on the bus, on the bus of the mixer.
Yeah.
So I've got 10 channels of audio there. I've got the mutes module.
Just before you go further, what's your opinion about the WMD performance mixer versus the Bafako hex mixer? Because this is something that I've always wanted to know.
I've always liked the look of that performance mixer by WMD. I think the design of it's really good. Also, it has built-in VCAs as well. Here, so you can control the level. Nothing seems to have a stereo. Oh yeah, that was an influence from Ranzee with his clips. Yeah. So yeah, I like the sound of it. It's not noisy.
Yep.
It's quite clean.
Yep.
I just like WMD stuff. I think it's really well made. It's a shame they're not with us anymore.
I know. I'm just thinking that. Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah. So I subscribe to Alex 106 on YouTube because he still does videos. I like watching his videos.
Well, he did say that he wasn't going away. He just yeah. So maybe it's some other projects he's doing. Yeah. And of course that's just a compressor, another compressor in the rack there with a couple of mults. Those are just passive mults. And of course there's a wasp filter from Dopefer. The Klep Diaz for a little. Yeah. I've got a Klep Diaz for a bit of LFO, clocking LFO. I've got noise engineering lapsus for a bit of attenuation, tenuverting, bipolar stuff. I've got the mimetic digitalis, and then of course there's the looper, Lubad. How do you find that?
I love it. I really do love that module. That was also inspiration from a chap that does little modular rigs on YouTube. He took one of the videos he did where he took a Starsky car video. He was demonstrating a piece of equipment, and he just turned it into this amazing part. And I just listened to it, and I just thought I'll have the modules. So I got a Morphogene as well as a result of that video. Yeah, and right over towards the end here, we've got the Oxy One pipe. So it means you can connect using an HDMI cable to break out all the things on the back here. It's really good.
Now, is that the thing that we were talking about that Brooksy should have got with his beat step? Is that the same thing?
It does a similar job, but I think this is sort of proprietary to the Oxy One thing.
It's just for the Oxy One, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it just means it breaks out all the CV and gates on the back into the eurorack world.
Yeah.
There. So yeah, it's really useful. The only thing that I'm a bit disappointed is it doesn't take the clock and reset as well. You have to plug something separately into that, but it's no big deal. It's a workaround.
Probably ran out of pins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then there's the Bitbox Micro.
Awesome.
Which I think is amazing. And I've got the A1116 at the top there from Dopefer, which is another self-contained voice. I've got the 4MS ensemble oscillator as well, which is awesome piece of kit. Really, really big sounding. I've got the chainsaw as well for the which I just love that Ranzee sound. It's just awesome. The detuned oscillators, it's just amazing.
Multi-saw.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is massive as well. For 4 HP, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the Morphogene. I've got a Javelin.
Yep.
I've got the carbon filter, the Rample, the Polycinematic.
Oh, you got the Rample.
Awesome as well. Yeah, I've got a Rample. And then, of course, the WMD Horizon Phaser, which I think sounds amazing.
It does.
Yeah, and then the FX8 XL, and last
which
but
also
not least,
sounds
the
amazing.
Desmosio, the Desmosius Versio from Noise Engineering on the end.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it when module designers get the signal noise stuff perfect. So WMD, hats off to them. The Happy Nerding guys for FX8, hats off to those guys as well, and IntelliGel as well. If you're wondering,
that's amazing value for money as well. That module, the Happy Nerding one.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really like the latest iteration on that as well, where they've got the bigger screen, so you can actually read what it is. So, yeah.
Thanks, Steve. That was a
very much.
lovely look at your eurorack.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I reckon. Tell us in chat what you guys saw in there. What you thought if you had something that you liked, or something that you may want to ask Steve about, maybe. Sorry, Steve.
I have a question. It's actually to everyone.
Wait. Steve, what were you saying? Just one sec, Chris.
Oh, it's just the Tascam DR5. I just record it into it. Just take a feed out of the eurorack into that. I just record each session so that I can go back to it if I like it. I can sample it. I may not necessarily be able to create the patch original as it was, but
you press and record.
Just press record.
Good man.
Excellent.
Yeah. Excellent advice.
Following the advice.
So what were you going to say, Chris?
I was just going to ask a question of all the modular people. The ornaments and crime. It seems to be universally considered the best sort of programmable effect, or the most popular. It seems to be the one that everyone talks about. And nobody seems to talk about the Behringer Lich. And there are... Sorry?
Andy's muted.
Sorry, Andy's muted. I was just going to say the Behringer Lich, and there's a whole lot of other ones out there as well, which also do the... But I'm now hearing a lot of people sort of bring the ornaments and crime as being the pinnacle, but no one's really explaining why, and I'm just wondering why that is. I don't know.
Well, I don't have it. I mean, I'll let Steve answer it because he's got it. But for me, I'm about to get one. So, and the big reason why I'm getting one is because I probably sat back for a couple of years before I decided to get one, thinking this could have been one of those sort of buzzy type situations where people were getting super excited about a module that's got so many things inside it. And I thought, but now I can actually see that there's a lot of development that's happened behind it. It's actually really, really huge, the development behind it. And that's probably where it's powerful. But
this
Steve,
is what I wonder.
Yeah.
I
think for me, I think the reason why I looked at that was because I was fresh to Eurorack. I was kept on hearing all these things, and when you sort of dealing with fixed architecture synthesis, what you see is what you get. And with modular, it gives you a whole lot more versatility. And when I was hearing things like what's a Lorenz and what are all the logic functions for? Why do I need that? I don't have them on a fixed architecture synth, or that I can see anyway. So a lot of it is, and when you buy a module and it does lots of things, you can test out these little things and find out what they do, and then you can use it as like a learning a bench, if you like. So you can say, well, I can do this.
So it's like an experimenter's playground kind of thing.
Yeah, so
allows you to experiment.
A lot of these different modules you hear about, I didn't know what the hell they did. So I thought, right, okay, so I can try this little applet. And it's like anything else that does multifunctions, like the Disting. They're amazing pieces of kit, and they've got incredible programs in there that you can use. But more often than not, you can only do one job at a time. So I mean, with the Disting EX, it's like two in one, so you can at least do two things at once. And it's like the Hemisphere suite on the Ornament and Crime. The same thing applies to that. You can do two things at once.
With the Ornaments and Crime, you can do, in some cases, you can do four things at once.
Yeah, like in the case of if you're using the original firmware that came out, I'd like 4 envelopes in there. And that's why I wanted to go back to the original, because I was trying to experiment with something that needed 4 envelopes, and I didn't have anything other than spending some more money on and trying to find. Well, that
not
that
the
was
Batumi. What am I saying? Not the Batumi.
Zadar.
The Zadar. Yeah.
Well, the Zadar was what I was looking at, and I know the envelopes in there are far exceed just a normal ADSR or the AD.
Well, the one I've got is the Quadigy, which is by Clavis, and I use that for my polyphonic Roland System 100M synth voice, and it does a beautiful job. One of the things I love about it is you can edit all 4 envelopes with the one bunch of sliders, or you can individually edit them all separately.
That was something that I looked at, because I've been looking at other envelopes, but a lot of them are they're just designed for the polyphonic environment, so that you can edit them all at once. But I wanted them separate. Separate.
Yeah, and the Quadigy does the extra stuff, like you can have like an Ensoniq SQ80 type envelope in there, or you could have the Korg Poly 800 envelope in there with the hold and those sort of other extra features.
Yeah, like the breakpoints and hold. Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got the cyclic stuff, and the cyclic stuff gets really interesting because when you start mucking around with cyclic envelopes, they become like quasi LFOs in a way, or even if you get them into audio rate, they can also be quasi oscillators as well. So it can get some really, really interesting things out of some of those. Go with one that's got more features than you'd need, because you may not ever use it, but it's always handy to have.
But it's there just in case.
But Ornaments and Crime, I think it's kind of like, for me, I actually regret not getting one early in the piece. Like, everyone gets a Make Noise mass, everyone gets a VCA, an envelope generator. They all get the basic stuff, right? And one of the ones that everyone tells you to get is an Ornaments and Crime. And the reason for it is because it's got so many other algorithms on that module that you can just call up through the menu and then bang, that module's doing something that you need really, really quick off the bat. The OLED display and the firmware on it is actually really intuitive, and some of the algorithms on there have got some incredible graphics coming out on the OLED display. You've got like the sequencer one I thought was interesting. There's a sequencer one on there. You can actually see like little sort of steps dancing around on your OLED display, and it's really, really well programmed.
Well, for the Disting EX, I was speaking to Oz last year at Synthfest, and he just released a 1U screen that plugs into the back of the Disting to make it a lot bigger. So that'd be really. Yeah, we saw that. Really, because I have really bad problems with. I have to wear my glasses every time I try to do anything. So can't read out half of it. Blind as a bat.
I mean, for me, I'm already frustrated with the Disting, but I am and I'm not. I mean, I was always going to just use this and set and forget. But in some of these algorithms, you actually do have to go through the different things. And see, every time I'm doing that, I have to wait for it to finish doing it before I can go to the next one. And it's going to take some time. Oh, now I'm at length. Okay, now I can play with the length. Right. So that's why I went for an EX. And with the EX, you don't have that problem. That's all gone. It's instantaneous. So it's probably worth the extra spend to get the EX. But like I said, for me, the $200 Australian, what's that, £100 for a Disting EX?
It does so much as well, the Disting EX. It's amazing. And it's got lots and lots of things. And, you need accompanying modules with it, but you won't get bored of it, I don't think, because there's just loads of stuff in there. Even polyphonic sample playback, it's just amazing. And it's a sampler as well. It does the auto sampling as well.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And that SD card stuff, playing back MIDI files, which is insane, right?
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of people don't realize how actually fundamentally cool that is. That you could just be in your DAW and go, right, here's a bunch of MIDI notes that I just can't do in a normal sequencer. I'm just going to whack that as a single MIDI file, whack it onto the SD card, and then bang into the Disting, and then off it goes and it plays a module. I'm just going to quickly sort of read some of these comments in chat. Half God, half beast. What are you talking about? Back but glitchy, gone again through a trance gate. I don't know what he's talking about. Explain yourself, chap. Explain yourself.
The stream, they're saying the stream's glitchy, but I'm saying it's not glitchy where I am.
It's not glitchy. No,
it's fine.
It is completely stable. And also, I haven't had a crash yet. Yay. And I've been using the social thing. Yeah. So maybe it was a software update. I'm going to say it was a software update. Anyway, wait till next week. We're not going to completely go bonkers yet. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who don't like Eurorack, and they're just, Ian's one of them. Ian, I'm sorry, you don't say you don't like it.
No.
You're just like, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like, but it's not for me.
So just so you guys know,
for me, I mean,
I was just going to say, Steve, you can go next. Like, just for me, you can see all these synths around me here. So, and if you go to Steve, he's got synths all around him too, right? So he's got a couple behind him. He's got the Radius. He's got the JP 8000, is it? I think. And there's a whole bunch over there. Look at that. So we're not just Eurorack people. We use our synths. Okay. I just thought I'd just remind people that we're not complete. What's the word, Ian? What would you call us? We're complete
modular heads.
That'll do. Yeah. Bleepers.
PG
You're not bleepers.
PG.
Wigglers.
One of the things I thought, one of the things I thought was interesting that I've been doing recently, and that is when you get something into Eurorack via your DAW or via all your other gear, and you're manipulating it through ways of patching that you can't do on that synth that you've got or in that DAW because there's too many mouse clicks or whatever it is, right? Because it's hardware synths and Eurorack are very tactile. There are manual, you're turning knobs, you're plugging things in. It's the same, right? But when you've got the ability to sort of patch things through and route things through, it becomes really, really cool. And so Steve was talking about the WMD Orion before as a phase. I love my phases, right? So Steve actually gave this to me. So, mate, I love you for it. This is it is an amazing phase. It's a small stone, basically. It's a small stone, and it's also a phase 90, and it's purely analog. But this is the. Has it crashed again on me? Have we got? Oh no, we've got it. Okay, cool. So this is the Pro 800, the Behringer Pro 800, sitting here. Let me go to a different camera angle, where you might be able to see it. Can you see the Pro 800 here? Yeah, there it is there. Pro 800 there, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
Right. So, if we turn this on here, that there, up here, is the WMD. I'll move the camera up again and I'll zoom in into it for you in a sec. So that, we should be getting sound, and we're not getting any sound. Have we crashed? I don't get it. I'm not getting any sound, guys.
Yeah, no, can't hear anything.
Why am I not getting sound?
Oh, just heard something. Yes.
Okay, that's not going through the let's change it. Let's go back. Here we go.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And what I love about it is it is
the
true.
fizz.
It is true to any phaser that you would get in analog land, where you will get
So
that
fizzy.
those resonant sort of phase coming in with the filtering, and then it's dropping out, and you'll hear the crunchiness, right? And then so you've got the resonance side. You can back the resonance off if you don't like that. But Steve, I reckon you're probably the same as me. If you ever try putting that through a compressor.
Well, I haven't tried it. But I will have to have a fiddle with that one.
Yeah.
I think.
So, because you know that with that whole sort of phase, the whole, let's call it the round trip that it makes, right? Through it's phase process. It might, in this case, it's going through 6 phases, I think. So it's going through 6 different phases, right? When it does its round trip, it has different amplitudes when it's doing its round trip, especially depending on how much resonance you've put into it. But when you put it through a compressor, and depending on how much threshold and how much ratio that you're chucking on your compressor, you can get some of those quieter phases or stages in your phase to lift a bit, and you can definitely get some of the louder parts to sort of sealing out as you would like a normal compressor to do. And it can then sound actually even different again. And I've been playing with that lately, and it's actually really, really interesting, the results. So
I've always liked that sound ever since Jean-Michel Jarre with his Eminent. It's there's loads of stuff that I want to try and recreate using Eurorack, like he did on his VCS3. Like a lot of the sounds on magnetic fields and stuff like that, where you sort of hearing stuff in the background. But I need to speak to some programmers.
Yeah, you do. Now, while I got you, too, Steve, you were mentioning before that you don't have this Roland module, Behringer module. It's the 172, which is
with the phaser,
the audio delay, and a whole bunch of other gate delay, crappy things in the bottom of it. So let me just go back here. It's that one there. You can't quite see it. I'm touching it there. Cables in the way. Now, I'm just using the audio delay. Now, the audio delay, I reckon, is pretty much a chorus or a flanger.
Wow.
It's not really a true delay, per se.
Yeah.
Because it's a bucket brigade delay, right? And this is what it sounds like. So you can hear that real
Short
analog.
delay.
It's kind of got a fuzz to it as well, and that it's a Behringer product, right? This is what we got to remember. But that sounds so beautiful. Some of the sweet spots on that module sound so. The phaser, I think, is a bit naff on it. I've used it a few times. It's not terrible, but it's a bit naff compared to the WMD. The WMD's like it just craps all over it. But the audio delay is so much fun because it's actually really kind of old school. So it's an old school. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the Cool Audio 3307 chip that they use in the Juno 60 clone pedal that they brought out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same chip. So,
Rans, what filter and oscillator were you using with that Orion just then? Because it had that nice fizz that I like, that sort of Oberheim sort of soundy.
So that's just the Pro 800, and it's just on a string patch, which is pretty much just a fairly standard open filter. I could probably show you the settings on it, but it's actually their factory patch. It's the second patch, actually.
Patch.
Yeah.
Right.
I can go back to it.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I'll get the camera. I'll show you the settings on the WND for you, because I absolutely love this module. It's seriously one of the best modules in my kit, and I didn't even know about it, to be honest. I'm just zooming in. Sorry, give me a sec. One day I'm going to program my PTZ camera to like connect to every single module and have like a memory. And I just press a button; it'll go straight to that module.
All voice activated.
Yeah. Can you see that clearly? So you can see that it's on 6 stage. The res is kind of
very high depths.
75%, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
And now that is going through the magneto, by the way. That's why you're getting that stereo delay sound.
It does sound amazing, though. Wow. Got goosebumps.
I mean, I could just listen to that all day.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you can drone that sort of stuff in the background. So I've got a patch here where I've got the strike fet going through it. The strike fet is a digital synth, but it does a really, really good job of emulating divide down. So I probably wouldn't have that loud. I would pull that right back, so it's underneath everything, like that. Some ambient stuff for you.
Oh, Rants, you're making me want to buy something now. Again.
This is really quiet, by the way, so you're going to have to turn up your volume at your end, but it is supposed to be quiet. I mean, I can make it louder. Dynamics, limiter. I'll chuck a limiter on the main bus. Here we go. That's just playing around with Euclidean rhythms, Turing machines. Because it's going to sound loud, I'm going to have to turn that off. There we go. I really bunched that up. So, yeah, I'm kind of going through a bit of an ambient phase at the moment with my music. So that might be the next project that I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going to go with it, but yeah, I'm enjoying sort of chilling out at the moment. I don't know why. I just feel like maybe I just need to chill. My last album that I made, Ian's probably the only person that's here that's heard it, is quite beaty. It's quite, in some cases, a little dancey. So
it's great.
At this time, I probably don't want to muck around with drums too much. What I kind of want to do this time is I kind of want to muck around with percussions. So I want to play with things like the Presonus iteratus and noise, FM noise, and the rings module, get some sort of, some interesting sounds out of that for sure. And I may even use my hand sonic, some manual, just to sort of break up sequency sort of sounds. Because one of the things that I don't like is if you have things that are too sequency, people will zoom out of it very quickly. Yeah. So you got to
sometimes you want a bit of looseness, don't you?
You got to disrupt them.
Yep. In fact, I'm just while we talk about your album, Rance, I'm just preparing next month's audiophile radio show, which will go live tomorrow, and I'm going to play a couple of tracks.
Okay.
So
go your hardest.
Listening people.
That stuff that you've asked me for, I'll send off to you tomorrow too, by the way. So
that's cool. Yeah, I'll do it early next week. Yeah.
Easy.
And then we'll have a release date. Yay!
Yeah, I've actually finished it all. I've just been busy. We've had some family stuff.
No, there's no panic. No problem. Yeah. No problem.
I was kind of a bit sensitive to your situation as well. I knew that you moving house and stuff, so I just thought I won't jump on you. Yeah, or not.
Yeah.
Trying to move house.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, but I can factor it in next week.
Now, Steve, certainly. Do you want to chuck? Actually, I don't know if you can. Do you have a link to your YouTube? Do you have some YouTube stuff up there, or a Bandcamp page, or that we can share?
I do have a Bandcamp, but there's nothing on it yet.
Okay, what have we got that we can listen to your stuff with?
Zip.
Okay.
I haven't got anything out at the moment.
All right, no worries.
Because to be honest, I hear all the good stuff that's out there, and I'm thinking, it's kind of a bit shy when it comes to that. But, needs to get it out. But
don't be shy.
Yeah, I'm on there as Ted's on Bandcamp, but there's nothing up there at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. But honestly, don't be shy. We're not going to bite you. You've got to get your flavor out there, because everyone has a personality. Music is different. Yeah. How you've touched your gear will make it your flavor. Unique. It'll come out differently.
See, everyone's unique. Yeah.
The thing is, I've always loved the synthesizer world, but I've never been able to play for Toffee. Is one thing, because I'm not.
Don't worry, I can't play. I
can't play keyboard. And to be honest, I've got more enjoyment out of using modular stuff than I ever have. I mean, I've been messing around since the early '80s with different bits of kit that I could afford, but never really never really had quite enough to be able to do anything with, if you know what I mean. So it's always been like a Roland Juno 106 with no effects, all that kind of stuff. DW 8000. But
to be fair though, I
My
kind of
favourite
feel like
synth,
you're pretty
8000.
similar to the rest of us.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to play.
Steve,
I
I can't
play,
play
but you
keyboard to
don't.
save my life.
You generally don't have to play.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
make music.
I take my kids to school and they do formal music lessons, and I reckon probably within a few years they will know more complex music stuff than I will, because some of the things that I'm seeing the teachers teach them, I'm going, whoa, this is kind of going over my head now, and I don't really care.
Sorry.
I don't really care about it. I just want them to go on their journey on their own. And that's the same for you, Steve. Like we don't need to feel inferior because we haven't got the Liberace Tinker on the ivories. We don't need to do that.
The one thing I took away from when I did a master's in music technology about 12 years ago. The main thing I took away from that was forget about timing. Forget about 4. It doesn't have to be 4/4. It can be anything.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that sort of stuff.
Actually, there's a track on my album that you'll hear soon where I play piano and then I play a synth and I play it without there's no MIDI interpretation, no quantizing, nothing, and I deliberately do it. I deliberately drag notes out, or I deliberately play it on a 7th beat instead of the 4th, or there's things that I'm doing deliberately.
Cool.
Because I don't want to be a conformist.
Well, exactly.
Because you could.
Yeah.
Because
you're in control. Yeah, you're in control. And say, I feel like this today.
Yeah. I feel it's more organic too. Like you get more feeling out of it. Like when you feel that note coming through and it's vibrating, right? That's the organic time that you should feel it, not when the math says that you should feel it, not when the sequencer says that you should feel it. So, the cool thing about Eurorack is you can do both. You can have that perfect, nice, tight, timed everything. That's one of the things I love about it. Actually, it's even more tighter than MIDI, right, in its timing. But then you can also make it really organic with some of the crazy stuff that it can do with modulation. And
there's a lot of really contrast between.
Yeah, I even when I started going to the EMOM things, when I first met Martin Christie over at Handley, I speak to him for a while and I was sort of talking about getting stuff together and going and doing that. But I saw how good everyone was, and I thought, oh no, can't possibly play that. It's like,
no, don't think that.
Yeah.
You're all right, because once I've played live, you'll think this is brilliant. Anyone can play it.
Darren.
Jesus.
Stop it, Darren. Everyone's going to be like going, we are not worthy of Darren.
It'll be my first live gig, isn't it? I mean, it's like,
oh wow,
it's the first time I'll ever play live and put everything together. So, ever.
I've got a mate, and his favourite saying is, "It's my first day." That's his favourite saying. Everything that he does, like if something goes wrong, he goes, "Oh, it's my first day."
Oh, it's my first day. It's great.
I
like that.
It's always been in the studio. Everything I've done has always been in the studio. I've actually bought a bit of kit and a few other bits to go live this year for the first time ever, and that's why I've been trying to get everything, because I've not played live, and this way I create in the studio is completely different to playing out live. So I'm trying to make it, as I've explained. So I'm still playing the stuff that I want to play. So it'll still be dancey, it'll still be like some of my albums, but transferring that to a live situation is completely different.
And make sure there's some danger in there.
First time ever. The problem is there's too much danger now.
Back up.
Yeah.
There's too much danger.
Thanks, David, for the $9.99. Thanks for saying it's an amazing show. Good on you, mate.
Nice.
Awesome, man.
Cheers, Dave.
He's a lovely fella,
Cheers,
David. And it's not just because of the $9.99.
I know.
Okay, he really is. So Darren or even Steve, you could jump up in an EMOM, right, or wherever, like I said last week, that Oz guy from expert sleepers went to a hackers meet at a pub, you know, and got completely slaughtered by a whole bunch of people who had no idea what oscillators were. You could rock up and say, "Hey, it's my first day. I just went down to the music shop and bought all this crap. Let's see where it takes us."
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, "Ooh, okay." Just get them drunk first,
Pretty much
or
what I'm
whatever.
doing. I'll be playing. I think Andy and Grace are on at some point.
Is that Blackpool?
I think they're on before me. Yeah, I'm
Is that
playing
Blackpool?
Where are you playing, Darren?
Blackpool. Blackpool.
Blackpool's
Emo.
Emo.
With the Jamie's emo.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. And there's quite a lot of
might-
people who. Well, in fact, I think most of them have played EMOMs before. So you've got Daidan Dai, who's like pretty. Well, he's pretty
Intense.
banging. Intense. He's on straight after me, so I mean,
And Grace
I've liked
Griffin is
it.
playing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There you go.
Right,
That's your
generally-
first one.
There you
Darren,
go.
don't worry who goes on before or after you. You know, it's not. I have to match up to that. Just do your own thing.
Yeah.
It's
Grace,
cool.
Grace Griffin saying that they're playing as well.
I'll come over and
Grace,
see you then.
So Andy and Grace.
Yeah.
I'll be.
I'll come over and see you.
Yeah. I know it'd be cool. We should go to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Chris and I jump on a plane, go up there.
Yeah,
Let's
cool.
go.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not going to be
I'll
my
come-
ambient stuff anyway.
If you guys
It's
come,
gonna
I'll
be
go.
chilled out.
I'll come over.
I'll go watch a Liverpool game down at Anfield and then go up to Blackpool. Yeah.
Well, I think Steve's got all my albums because he's so you'll hear glimpses of stuff that's in my albums that you've got. So there'll be bits you'll recognise from albums, but it'll be completely a new version, new live mixed. Rave might even appear. You just don't know.
Excellent.
Oh.
That'll be worth seeing.
So
You
there'll
need
be
to-
bleeps at
you
the
need to-
ready, I would say.
Rave was saying something to
that-
me about Darren. He was saying something about he's going to call the next album "Don't Call Me a Proctologist" or something.
That'll be his third album.
I mean, yeah. He's sick of people handing him. No,
That's why it's so purple.
that's,
Oh no!
he likes to release
I thought
the
it was
purple
the-
monster.
I thought it was the toilet duck that made him purple. Oh,
He drank too much of that as well as the Palmer Bar.
All right. Well, so record some stuff and chuck it up on SoundCloud or whatever. Just doesn't matter if you're scared about it, or even just bounce it off a few of us. We'll let you know. Most of us will tell you the truth.
What I might do, what I might do is take some of the recordings that I've made off here and sort of try and tidy them up a bit, and put that up. Send everyone to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I've on
Steve,
Discord.
you can always
I've
send
done
me some of
modular
that
jams
stuff.
and
Come on,
chucked it up
Discord.
there.
Some of your stuff because I love to work with stuff like that.
That'd be great. Yeah, you're only down the road from me as well, I think.
Yeah.
On the A34.
Say the
Send me some
stuff
of
that I
I'd
actually.
love to.
The only stuff I really struggle with is noise music, where it's just incredibly loud and incredibly noisy, and I do really struggle with that, and because I like melody,
yeah.
Can I just say something, Ian?
Go on.
That's what mine might be like because I've mixed everything on headphones because I've got no speakers.
Rubbish. No, I'm talking about just that sort of distortion, for
A bit like
for 10 minutes.
Jamie had one at his,
Or 15
one
minutes.
of his EMOMs where he put loads of distortion pedals. And after, it's sort of like it's an acquired taste.
This is for Ian.
Certainly, I mean, that's not noise music. That's all right.
No, there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just when it's like white noise or brown noise, or just I do struggle with that. Yeah.
He's talking about Ayana Tanaka's stuff.
Well, some of the not Inakis' stuff wasn't. The stuff I heard wasn't like that. It's very rhythmic. Well, it's a long time since I've listened to any knacker stuff.
Oh, it's like when I was a kid, a teenager or early 20s, and we'd go to people's houses, and they'd have parties, and they'd put on some record. Oh, it's after midnight. I'm just going to put this on. It'd be some BS, like animals farting in the night, and that's all you'd hear. What it's like, there's music like that I can see what you're saying, Ian. Like it's just like it's complete bonkers, right? And they've sold 1 million copies of it because it had some chick with a top off on the cover.
Gosh, I'm not talking about noisy music because noise is okay, but it's just pure white noise or pink noise, or just with slight variations. I mean, literally, I've been to some nights where, in fact, I have just bought tickets to see a band. I don't know, they're called Mopcut, and I know that they're noisy, but they seem interesting. They've got a drummer, a synth player who sings or shouts into a microphone, and a guitarist.
So when you say that, when you say they're noisy, do you mean like they're distorted, they're clipping?
Yeah, I mean,
is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that I really struggle with is where it is. You've got very constant, pretty much white noise, or one of the flavors of noise, incredibly loud volumes, and then with very little variation. And there are people out there doing that sort of stuff because I've seen it, and I just.
You mean like experimental music?
I just
a bit
you feel it because it's real. I mean, after about 10 minutes, you just want it to stop.
Well, it's not surprising.
You really do, because I wouldn't my mate to see.
Ian, it's not surprising that you say that because white noise is actually, it's all the spectrum, right? It's all the audio spectrum from the bottom all the way to the top. And if you look at like psychiatrists, they do noise studies for treating people with mental health issues, right? And they know that white noise is basically, it will trigger all people that are on sorts of spectrums and stuff like that. Whereas then you start looking at pink noises and blue noises and brown, all the different filtered noises. And that's where, they can treat people differently with sort of mental health issues. So when you're going to a concert and it sounds like white noise and you're getting bombarded by that, no wonder you probably feel like you want to leave because it's making you stressed. It's stressing you out.
I mean, and it is usually at an EMOM or something like that. I think there's been somebody at one of the wonky stuff nights, which was 20 minutes. So 20 minutes of that, you certainly you want to go, and there's nowhere else to go. You can't go into the other bar so it's finished. So it can feel a bit. It's not very often, but I just and I'm all for everybody doing whatever they want to do musically. But for me, it doesn't work for me.
I don't mind. I don't mind that. Like I'm the same. Like if someone said to me, I like listening to folk music and I dance in the field naked. That's great. Good for you. It doesn't mean I have to. But I'm not going to stop you. And if you want to play white noise at an EMOM, go for it. But just don't invite me.
Now, is that classed as music then? Are we classing that as music?
Well,
noise is music, right?
Is it
organised noise?
Yeah,
yeah.
There was a really
is it more
good
the experimental side of it? You mean, Neil?
It is. I mean, and I'm all for it for doing more experimental stuff because I do that sort of stuff, but I don't. And occasionally I might use some noise, but it wouldn't be prolonged. But there's a whole scene, I think, is it in Boston? Andy might know, actually. There's a documentary I saw quite a while ago, which I think was on Netflix, and it was about the noise music scene. I think if it wasn't Boston, it was somewhere in America. The documentary was actually quite interesting.
Oh, what's that doctor that's in Boston, the music university there? He's awesome, that guy. He's like an electronic lecturer at the Boston School of Music.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I've forgotten his name now. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Boston, Ian.
Yeah, I'm just
Because he studies all, that he allows people to do theses on all this sort of kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I get emails from them actually. What's it called? The Boston School of Music?
You're still muted, Andy.
No,
I think
it's gone.
I think he's talking to someone.
It's gone. Okay.
Not Boston, Berklee College of Music. Sorry, I was thinking of Boston.
There was a mini documentary on the Boston noise scene. So it was, you're right, it was Boston.
Yeah.
And it's actually on YouTube now. It's only 15 minutes, but
So it is in Boston, but it's called the Berklee College of Music. And the guy, there's some doctor, somebody or other there, and he's like a massive electronic music fan. He loves it. He's embracing it because he has to, because when you think about it, he's kind of in charge of the syllabus, right, for teaching the future generations about music. And you can't just go, I'm not going to be interested in R&B because I don't like it. You can't do that because
it's all valid.
50 million people love it, so you're just going to ignore them. They're selling the most records. It is valid, yeah. Is Berkeley in California? Oh, okay. Okay, right. So school me on geography. I thought it was in Boston. I don't know why. Berkeley with a double E.
With a Y, with an E. And
it's double E. The one I'm talking about's got a double E. Berklee College of Music in Boston. Maybe the guy that I might be sort of cross-wired here. Maybe the guy that I'm talking about is Berkeley with a Y, and he's in California, but I'm also talking about Berkeley in Boston. Same conversation, just to get you confused. Berserkly, as Wagyu says.
Berserkly.
Someone will come up with his name anyway in a sec, if they haven't already.
I think I know who you were talking about. He came up in a DIY podcast the other day I was listening to.
Yeah, well, I watched him recently of something as well. So, I'm just trying to find his name. You guys keep talking while I find his name.
That shut us up, didn't it?
Oh, I know his name. His name is Dr. Richard Boulanger, and he is in Berklee College of Music, which is in Boston. The Berkeley with the double E. Dr. Richard Boulanger. And if he's ever watching my show, hats off to you, mate. You're a bloody awesome guy. You're an awesome guy. Seriously. And whoever's goes to his school and gets taught by him and would be definitely wealthier from that. Sorry, Ian?
But clearly there is a Boston noise music scene.
There is, yeah. And I swear I remember that guy mentioning it. I'm pretty sure he was the guy that mentioned it. Andy's saying his mic's not working. I wanted to get your attention to show a quick iOS app that looks like a planetary module that was similar to the one that I showed earlier. Okay, cool. Let's go to Andy.
Okay.
For God's sakes, learn some sign language.
Yeah.
He fires off planets. Cool.
Andy, 2 words. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Sounds like noise.
Planets. And Andy's going to get a piece of paper and a pen in a minute and
exactly,
communicate with signs.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Change my mind signs. That's what you should do, Andy. You should do like something, and then change my mind and hold it up on the camera.
You should write with an etch a sketch. You should write with
That's a good idea.
We should try and lip read him. What's he saying? Okay, what's Andy saying? No, he's not talking now.
Hello, everybody. Hey, easy peasy. Hey. We can do this.
Come on. If no one can hear, the first thing you should do is swear, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
I never said that.
Hey, it'll just start working then, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, I never got around to doing your firmware update, so I do apologise. Just didn't
That's okay.
have a chance.
I released it today, and I knew you'd be pretty busy.
My grandfather-in-law came over and he had a problem with his Mac. I needed to sort it out for him, and there was a few other things going on. But that's not what I want. That's not the right camera. This is what I want. So what Chris has done, he's been really busy, guys. He's done I'm not going to show it because I haven't done it, but he's done a firmware update on his GP82 module, which is this thing here. Right? If you are watching this for the first time, this is a module in development. You can't buy this yet. So it's done by Chris, Maikshifter modules. It is a companion module to the module next to it, which is the sequencer from Behringer, the 182, which is a System 100M clone sequencer, and it does a whole bunch of cool things. So I'm going to go into it because you can watch the previous streams. But in his firmware update, he's added some fixes and things like that. So during the week, I will. There's a couple of things I want to. This is kind of partly to tell everyone and also partly to tell Chris. So during the week, I'm going to do the firmware update, but also I'm going to pull all of this stuff out of the nifty case, except for the GP82, and I'm going to put the 960 in.
Ooh.
And the 960 will go in, and if I can squeeze this module here in, so we've got a voice. Otherwise, I'll just leave a voice sort of, nearby, and plumb that in somehow. So we'll get the 960 going with this, and see what we can do with that. Excellent. So you've got some way of testing that now, because at the moment you can't test that yet until either I or Brooksy play with it. So there's that as well. So because I kind of feel like with what we've done so far with the 182, I kind of feel like I've put it through its paces. I've gone through I've gone through all the different settings. It's doing what it's supposed to do. There's a few things that I've asked you to look at. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen. There's a few options that you could look at in the future maybe. And what we need to do now is see what this does with other things, not just the 182. So for your USP as a product, you can then sort of go out to market and say, this is a companion module for the 182, but also you can use it for the 960 and it works like this, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of feel that's a cool thing.
Yeah, that would be cool because, of course, and very upfront, this is designed for this module, but it also works for this. I can imagine a video saying that fairly early on. Because a lot of people are, I don't have that module. Oh, hang on, it also works for something else. So no, it's a good point, Rance. It's
and the other thing too is there are other sequences out there too. So like Steve's got some cool sequences in his rack there. And when he was sort of panning around his rack, the Erica one, I kind of thought this could do some stuff with, because the Erica. There is some limitations with the Erica sequencer, isn't there, Steve?
I've not found them.
That's honest.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry. I just love it. I do. There's also the Baby 8 as well. Baby 8 sequencer. That's something that somebody can build from Thonk, and it may expand the what that can do as well. So I don't know how
that's the kind of that's probably the kind of a kind of simpler step sequencer is probably what GP82 may open up a larger world to, I think. No, keen to see it.
Yeah.
And I wish I had all of them here. I wish I had all the sequences ever made and I could test them all.
You got me thinking now, Ranz. I can't. You got me thinking now. What's the thing on the?
What's the limitations of the Erica sequencer? I can talk to you about it offline. Yeah. It's nothing bad.
No.
It's just that I think that there was some promises that Erica. This is not what I'm going to tell you offline, but this is what I can tell people. There's some promises that Erica were going to do some updates to that. And and they didn't. So, which is kind of common. I'm not going to say it's common for Erica, but it's kind of common in the eurorack world that we get things and we kind of, warning for anyone. If you ever buy a product with the promise that it might have this feature in the future, don't buy it. Don't buy it until it's got that feature, because that's going to disappoint you until that feature ever comes. And we could probably all say that we've bought products in the past on that whim, right? So, yeah. Hey, Roland.
I mean, I just thought it was perhaps my lack of understanding of this module, because it is quite deep.
Yeah, it is deep.
It does lots of things.
It does. Yeah. I mean, I think it's got its scope, though. It does have a scope, and like Erica would like you to buy all their products, right? So you put that with your bass line, with your drum synth, with your drum sequencer, even with some picos, with all the other stuff, that their little sort of world, the stereo, delays, all that sort of stuff, and that's their world, and it would behave beautifully in that world. But it's kind of when you start to go out of that world that you might find that it's well, I don't know. Have you ever tried a Metropolis?
No, but I've seen loads of videos on it, and I've watched a lot of the stuff you've done with it as well. I quite like the idea of it, but IntelliGel stuff always seems to be, I don't know,
pricey.
It's a bit pricey, isn't it? Yeah.
Hell yeah. I just bought the sea legs.
Yeah.
And I've got
You
sea
can
legs.
always have
And I was
mine,
putting the
Steve,
credit
if you
card over the.
Oh, nice one. Cheers, Darren. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say with the Metropolis, find out what the Metropolis can do, and then find out what your Erica sequencer can do, and how much overlap are there versus how much are different.
I like that Varigate. Is it the Varigate 8 as well?
Yeah, the Varigate 8. I've got one of them.
Yeah.
I love the
I like
Varigate.
that.
Yeah. It's a great sequencer. So that Bassimilus thing that I was playing before, that was being driven by randomization on the Varigate with ratcheting and stuff. So
yeah, I've got the.
That's the Varigate doing that.
Wow. Cool. Yeah. I've got the Winter Modular Eloquencer as well, because I couldn't quite make my mind up what I wanted. That's in another rack.
That puzzles me, that module. So
yeah,
is that more based on the sort of Turing sort of randomization sort of feel? Is that kind of where that's headed? Or is that just playing set and forget steps?
No, you can pro. It's not. I don't think it's Turing based. It's like 8 tracks of 16 steps, and then you can chain them all together to make songs and stuff like that. Eloquencer, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's 8-track step sequencer, basically.
So, I've got it in the other rack here somewhere. Yeah, there it is.
Don't drop anything like I did.
Oh, it's the Eloquencer. Oh, that's the screen thing. That's the thing that Henrik's got, isn't it?
That's the nerd sequencer.
Oh, that's the nerd sequencer. Okay.
That nerd sack, yeah.
Brute.
Need to get rid of that if anyone wants it.
What is it? Mini Brute 2?
Yeah, Mini Brute 2, and there's like a 6U 84 HP rack brute with
case
it as well.
Yeah, case.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a Mini Brute 2, but I just never liked the price of them. I've always thought they were a bit
yeah.
Because I got stung by the Mini Brute. I bought a Mini Brute when they first came out. I loved it. I loved the sound of it. I hated how it got all sticky because they use that cheap rubberized paint on it.
Yeah.
And it really peeved me when people do
knobs.
things like that. So, yeah. I'm just hoping that this too doesn't suffer for the same problem with the sticky knobs. We've talked about this before, haven't we, Darren?
Oh, we're not going back there again, are we?
We've had conversations about sticky knobs.
Gee, I don't know.
I mean, I sold my Akai Ableton Push 1, and it suffered from the same thing, the rubberized paint. But I literally pulled the whole thing apart, so it was just the chassis, and I sat there with a microfiber cloth and some isopropyl alcohol, and I rubbed and rubbed and rubbed and rubbed and rubbed, until it got rid of the layer of stickiness. And the push looked a bit naff, to be fair. It wasn't a nice, seamless looking black anymore. It was kind of patchy grey, dark grey black. It looked a bit shit. But I sold that thing for a song to someone on Reverb, and it's perfectly fine, does the job. And all he had to do if you wanted to was just pull it apart and spray paint it.
The metallic finish paint or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
hammered finish.
That's something I've got to do with my Access Virus KC, because it's got the sort of wooden end cheeks on the side, but it's really sticky as well. I've tried to clean it off, but I need to swap them out.
I just wonder, like how many things in this world, like there's on my wife's car where you put the key in, just around that whole key entry thing is a bit of black plastic, and it's got the same sticky problem. And I don't want to touch it because it's got all this lettering and stuff, this is where you put the key. If you turn it this way, it does that. If you keep turning it, it does. Do you know what I mean? It's got like little markers on it, and if I fix it, you'll lose all that. But every now and then you touch it, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. Yeah. It's on my Zoom H6 recorder. It's got sticky rubberized stuff on that. I hate it. It's everywhere. It's attacking me. It's like an alien. It's like a cancer.
You'd think that when there's sort of research and development departments of these companies that make this stuff, you'd think they'd look into that, wouldn't you? But I've got a set of these. I've got a set of these Rocket 6s, and after they've been on a while, they make this horrendous crack sound. I just think it's the electronics heating up and it's expanding the case.
Is that one of the early model of the Rockets? Because there was definitely a reported issue with them. And
these are Generation 3 ones.
Okay. Oh. It may be before.
It's okay. I can send you. I can send Rave round because he blew mine up. So.
He'll take care of them for you, Steve.
I was
never have your problem ever again.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to swap them out for. I was going to swap them out for some HS8s after Ranzee's show, because I bought the subwoofer, and that's really amazing.
The HS8 subwoofer.
Yeah,
it is amazing.
It is amazing. I was thinking
amazing.
about getting some of the monitors as well, and I might offload these, Darren, if you want.
Steve, out of curiosity, would you say that is one of the purest subs you've ever heard?
It's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I had an old surround sound sub on there before, just messing about really, and it did sound good, and I've repaired it a few times. But it gave up the ghost, and I thought, I'll just get one of those HS8s, and it's just opened up a completely different world, especially with synths like the Access Virus and some of my Nexus 3 plugins and stuff like that I use. It's awesome, and even Diva, because I bought the Martin Sturcher patches for dub techno stuff, and it just sounds awesome, totally awesome.
You won't go wrong getting the HS8 speakers, because they have, without the sub, they sound very almost lifeless. It's kind of like very mid-rangey, but with the sub, you're getting a real natural sound out of them. Like it's the 3-pack that you need to get: the the 2 speakers and the sub. Oh, so with your Rockets, Kent Flux Pierce, the guy that does the Hydrasynth guy.
Oh yeah.
He had Rockets, and I think he was the one that had trouble with them. And what I'll do if I catch, I usually chat to him every now and then. If I catch him, I'll ask him what the problem was, because I think you take the cones out, and there's like a black goo inside that leaked all over something, and it just creates problems because it's not supposed to leak everywhere. If I remember rightly, it was something to do with that. Someone in the chat
I
might
didn't have any
even
black
be able to tell
goo. I
us.
took mine apart. I had no black goo.
Had no
was
black
just
goo?
fried.
Were yours a 3?
No. My yeah, I think they are.
Okay.
Yeah. Rocket 5s they are.
Yeah. Did yours take ages to boot up as well, Darren? Whenever you put a signal into them, they take ages to switch back on. I don't know whether anyone else experienced that.
They did.
Yeah.
So is that like is that
they
the
didn't at
amplifier
first.
warming up?
It seems.
I don't know. They just take ages when you turn them on. The thing lights up. I mean, I think the class D anyway, so it shouldn't take a while to warm up. Just that when you they have like this circuit in there that turns them off if it doesn't hear anything for a while.
Yeah, like a regulator. Almost sounds like a regulator capacity sort of thing.
Yeah,
power saver thing.
Mine
because there's a focal set who do this a similar thing where they have if you don't have passing any signal through it, they switch off, save power, and they didn't always switch on quite as quick. If you sent a sound in, it almost missed the first beat almost.
Yeah,
before it's
the transition.
again.
Yeah, I'm going to be controversial here and say that we shouldn't be buying speakers that are powered, that have got the built-in amplifier inside the speaker cabinet, because I don't think that's where you should be putting your electronics.
Well,
just saying,
you're absolutely right. But for studio monitors, it's usually going to be the sort of way most people are going to roll.
Yeah.
But if you do have an option to get passive speakers and power them with a proper power amp, that's definitely better. Because that's what
I do.
I used to work in a hi-fi store when I was younger, so I know all about how this technology works. I used to sell Morn Short speakers, NAD, Denon. I used to sell all the
Shorts, MS10s I've got.
Yep.
MS10s are a really great little speaker.
I've got some MS10s sitting here in the house.
I've got AR18s here as a
little
second
bookshelves.
pair of speakers.
Yeah.
AR18s, wow.
And anyone will tell you that you've got to have your passive speaker box. You can't put anything else in there except for the speaker treatment of the box itself, so that it can do its acoustics properly. If you've got electronics in there, that electronics is going to behave, I guess, with the acoustic. Now with the Yamaha HS8s, the electronics are on the back of the speaker box. Yeah, they're not inside.
That's the better solution.
Yeah, I had a HS5.
Yep.
Because you could buy them individually, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up with one, which I did sell, and I have to say I always hated NS10s as well. I know that it's not quite the same speaker, but the HS5 sounded pretty good, or the one that I had sounded pretty good, But I've got a pair of Tannoy System 8s here, which are passive. And God forbid I fry a drive unit because it'll cost an arm and a leg.
So those rockets will have the amplifier
I can
inside.
send Rave round.
Yeah.
So already the vibrations inside that
already
box
compromised.
are going to be compromised. So what they do is they tend to treat with some sort of filtering on the way that they sound, so you won't get a pure sound out of them.
Yeah,
you get a compensated sound.
And they will never tell you this because that's in their R&D.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to tell you our secrets. But yeah, but even still, with the Yamahas, you've got the amp sitting on the back. Technically, you could probably argue that that may have something to do with the box vibrating. You could probably make it work.
Yeah, it would to some extent, wouldn't it? But it may do.
But then you've got
the internal cavity should be fine. If
internal cavity is the most. That's where the work's happening. So it's got to get the vibration out, right? It's not necessarily like the box.
Are they ported?
They're ported.
Not ported.
Yeah, they're ported. Yeah.
Are they ported on the back or the front?
The front.
On the front.
Front. Yeah. Mine are ported on the front. I have to say, it's harder to get placement right on a pair of rear ported speakers. I always find that the bass is
I've often wondered with the rear ported, you're always going to get a throw, aren't you? Because you've got your vibrations coming out.
You got to get from the wall for a start. Yeah. But it always sounds more boomy because it's got the port at the rear.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have any. The only ported speakers I've got are my System 8s, which are but twin ported at the front. Everything else I've got is fully enclosed.
See, a lot of people rave about Adams.
I never really listened to Adams, but you know, they do, don't they? Because wasn't Adams a spin-off of another company? Or have I got that wrong?
Well, I think we did a show on this about 2 or 3 years ago on monitors. Yeah. I mean, my only sort of experience in this is going to the odd music shop over the years and trying whatever monitors are in the store. So you can only try what you are in front of you. They don't have everything in the world in front of you. But I did listen to some Adams, and I listened to some KRKs, and I listened to some Yamahas, of course, and there was some Presonus ones even there. God, stay away from them. Right. And I thought the Adams sounded really nice, but I didn't think they sounded so amazingly nice for the price, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I had the Yamahas, and this is probably the day when I actually bought the Yamahas. I had the Yamahas. They were sitting on a metal speaker stand with a foam sort of top.
Yeah.
So the speaker itself
to kill the Q effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to any Folcal?
I don't think they had any, but I'd like to.
They're phenomenally expensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Folcals.
Yeah. Some are, yeah. Some are.
And
obviously,
we've never mentioned the supposedly official speaker that all musicians should have.
You're going to say Genelex. You're not going to say Genelex, are you?
Yeah.
I tell you, I've listened to Genelex a lot in studios, and I find them incredibly tiring after a couple of hours. The only pair of Genelex, I don't even know which model number they are, but the top of the range, the really big Genelex, I thought were the best of the bunch. I mean, probably due to price as well.
But why is it that we go to places and we listen to music live, and it's always some crappy PA, like it's a JBL or it's just
JBL? Well, JBL hi-fi speakers used to be really good, but
they used to be, but not anymore.
Yeah.
But it's always
I haven't listened. I mean,
why would people do that?
Back in the 90s, I always hankered after a pair of JBLs, but I didn't have the room for them because they were massive.
Think about that for a sec, guys. Like, just remember, next time you're mixing, right, and you're mastering your track, and how much bloody effort you've putting into doing all that, to only know that some poor bastard is going to listen to it on their Apple AirPods.
Going to crank it. Yeah.
There we go.
Or they're going to play it
on there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, let's play it on that.
Or they're going to play it at a club on some crappy PA speaker that's the club's bought from, I don't know, Presonus or Behringer or something.
Somebody's poured 3 pints down it as well.
Yeah.
But the bass will probably sound okay.
Yeah.
You see, that's what I've got to work on, because I'm only using headphones. But like I say, for the live set, it's going to be sort of more mono. But it's not going to be you're not going to get a full stereo experience.
Darren will be there with his headphones going, "Hey, it sounds all right, guys. What's your problem?" And he takes his headphones off and he's like,
I'll have me.
Okay.
No. What's more likely to happen is I'll be there with my in-ears going, "This is sounding amazing," and there won't be any sound coming out at all.
It'll be just. I did this live thing once where I had my TR8, and I don't know, must have bumped the tuning or not tuning, the tone knob on the kick drum on the TR8, and it was really basic. Like it was like super boomy sounding TR8 808 sort of bass drum, and this guy was bolting out of his office like, "What is that making my speakers blow up?" Like he was like, I thought he was going to crash tackle me, and I went, "Oh, hang on a sec, sorry, I'll just back that off a bit." It was a TR808. It was like, the whole place was like, bottles were falling off the shelf in the bar.
Wow.
Oh dear, priceless.
I was
Power
scared
of
of
the
that guy.
808.
He was huge. I think he was a bouncer. What is the highest? What's he saying? 10.
The highest that anyone's gone in monitors. I don't play my monitors very loud on purpose because.
Oh yeah, they get really loud. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm using an 80-watt power amp, but I never turn it up. You know.
The Yamahas get really loud. You can actually use them as like if you had a party at your house or something, you could use them for it. They're that loud.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. Probably want to turn the sub down though. You'd probably pop it.
I suppose it depends on whether you've got next door neighbours or not. Like,
I'm waiting for someone to say 11. I've gone all the way to 11.
Yeah. Well, it's more than 10.
Only things in the Purple Loon studio go to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's renamed everything 11.
Yeah.
He has. He marks it in purple as well. This is where it needs to go.
Nothing worse than shrill. Absolutely. And shrill is kind of the nemesis of a really shit speaker, right? A really bad quality speaker. And you go to some of those places which have live shows on, and they've got this really, like I said before, they've got, maybe I shouldn't have said JBL, so worse than JBL, really crappy quality, made in wherever, on a smell of an Ollie Rag speakers.
Dare I say Behringer?
But I mean, even still, sometimes Behringer can sound good compared to some of the other stuff.
They actually do that quite well.
Yeah. Like I've got one of their old mixers, and this is kind of from the day when people used to say, "Oh, they make really, really crappy." This was like back in the early 2000s, right? When they used to say, "Oh, don't buy Behringer; they make really crappy products." I've got an analog mixer called a Eurorack.
The 1602,
and it still works fine.
1602.
Yeah,
nothing was not a problem with it. It's
like the smaller one.
I mean, I think I have to put some deoxit on one of the sliders because it's a bit crackly now, but that's normal.
Pop sound.
Yeah,
I got their 88,
it's
8200.
Oh, the digital thing.
I love it.
Yeah,
I've got that.
I took your advice, Ranzee, and got one of those RME Digiface things, so I can run ADAT everywhere. So
it's good. You don't get any noise.
I just haven't got a module for my case yet. So
get the expert sleepers. I mean, I've got the ES8, but the ES9 may be better. I don't know. I've got the ES8 though because it's more to do with SPDIF connections. But
I was told me to get one of them, but I can't remember whether he said it was because I did mention the ES9 to him, but he said there was one less than that, and he said I might get more out of that than the other one. But
well, the ES8 has got two. I mean, in and out with the SPDIF. Plus, it's got two stereo outs, so 4 outs if you want to do it that way.
Yeah.
And then it's got 8 ins as well.
Wow. Yeah.
And you can and it can be soft ins through DAW as well, and it will see every single one of them, which is pretty handy. And you can get expander modules for it. You can get a thing called an ES5, I think it is. But I'm trying to trying to look over the nerly here. I think it's an ES5 or something else. There's another one, and or an ES3 maybe. It might be ES3. Anyway, so have a look at Expert Sleepers. There's a bit of an ecosystem that he's got with his digital audio modules. But the ES9 was always more, that had more inputs and outputs on it. It was more expensive though. I think it's probably about 500 quid or something, 600 quid. It's quite expensive. Yeah. I would love it
for what you get. Yeah.
Well, I would love it if someone like, I know WMD aren't around anymore, but someone did something like that performance mixer and had it all analog and everything like it is, right? But had a digital sub-chan on the back of all those analog channels. Because Presonus did it with their, not with Eurorack, but they did it with their analog mixers. Presonus made the AR series. They were amazing, those mixers. They literally had a digital channel sitting on the back of all the analog channels. So you actually had, so say you got an 8-channel mixer, you'd had 8-channel digital and 8-channel analog. I mean, they're the same thing, but you could bring that into your DAW as 8 digital channels if you wanted to. It was really, really cool. I'd love it if someone did that in Eurorack. And I think the reason why they haven't, is because they've got power issues in Eurorack. There's, to do something like that, you'd need a fair amount of power to power the digital processing and the analog processing of a mixer. Because it's what's the average Eurorack case? 1.5 to 3 amps, right? Somewhere around there. 1.5 to 3 amps is your average power of a case.
Something like that.
I
think the Behringer ones. I think the Behringer goes at 3 amp.
3 amp. There you go. So 3 amps. Yeah. So you should be able to power a digital, an 8 to 10 channel digital mixer on 3 amps, 12 volts. But then you probably wouldn't be able to put any other modules in it. So that could be the reason why they haven't done it.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Chris was kind of wondering what I was going with it, but low power technology is coming to the fore. So it could be they could be getting where they're doing a lot of the low power stuff with Bluetooth, right? So you can,
and I mean, think about Behringer. They put USB interfaces into a lot of their mixers.
Yeah, but generally speaking, they're just on the master though, right?
Yeah, it's true. Rather than individual track.
It's just a dual channel.
Yeah.
Partly because the USB chips that are optimal, cost wise and power consumption wise, are stereo.
Well, I mean,
don't have more than.
From an electronic point of view, that's really easy to do because all they have to do is route the master through the digital circuit that will take the 2 channels through the USB, right? So they would have literally a board that they've used in every single mixer. They just cut and paste that board. They take the master as a parallel path into the digital, and then the other path goes out to your actual manual outputs. So that would be easy to do, but to do it on every single channel, it's a challenge because they'd need to put say if it was an 8-channel mixer, you'd have to put 4 of those modules in that mixer, and then you'd have to have another bit of electronics that would then get them all talking at the same, because they have to talk at the same clock level and everything, so it's all
that's the problem with multi-channel interfaces in general. This is actually quite a difficult digital problem to solve.
Yeah. So if you ever work with ADAT, you know that you've got to have a clock going into the thing, right? So it's either going to be self-generated or it's got to come through this weird thing called a word clock. You can have like coaxial cables going everywhere, and you can have a master word clock, or you can have your digital audio interface. Like in Steve and my situation, we've got the RME DigiFace. We can have that as the master clock, or we could have the ADA module as the master clock. It doesn't really matter. When you've got multiples though, this is where it becomes a problem. And with the digital SPDIF, those sort of things, you need to have a clock. Otherwise you can't have your 48K, 96K sampling rate. That's how it works.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean a Teensy or I don't know, an ARM processor could probably do it with DSP.
I think it will come, Rance. I think it's just going to take time before.
Well, expert sleepers have done it.
Well, yeah, but they've probably done it in a way using discrete devices that don't have a massive manufacturing, quantity compared to something like all the billions and billions of Chinese manufacturers now producing chips.
It's a bit linear how it works though. So like with the ES8, you can either use the SPDIF digital outputs or the USB. You can't use them both at the same time. So if you do plug a USB into it, it electrically disconnects the other thing. I've got the SPDIFs connected into mine here. If I plug a USB in, it will literally disconnect my SPDIF digital connection electrically or digitally through the USB port. It has like a sensor on it while it's turned on. And at first, I had no idea what was going on. I'd plug this in, I put the USB in, plugging it in, being a cool boy, plugging all the things in, and going, I can't get this to work. And then I read the manual, and it said you can only use one or the other. So it's linear in that sense. You can only do one thing or the other. Like that can be how he's got around some of the power issues, maybe. It doesn't use that much power, actually.
That's possibly all done in firmware or software, so to speak. You may have used, because it's quite a powerful CPU in those expert sleepers, those high-end modules.
Yeah.
So you may have basically implemented the different digital options in software, which is why you can only have one at a time.
It's not even 200 milliamps. It's 198 milliamps on the plus 12. Jeez, they're a bit deep, those modules, by the way, too, Steve. They're 50 millimeters deep, so do bear that in mind. They fit in the rack brutes. I've got mine in a rack brute, but they don't fit on the bottom run of the Behringer Go case, because I think that's a bit shallower than the top rung, right? I think it is. If I remember rightly, the bottom rung's shallower or the top rung's shallower? One of them's shallower.
Yeah, the bottom one's shallower. And you've also got that sort of indentation for the foot as well.
But the cool thing about it is it does 96K. This is the ES8 that I'm talking about. 96K won't help you with your RME anyway, because it only does 48. But how's this? It does 88.2K. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, what?
It's double 44.1.
But it's double 44.1.
Yeah. Makes sense. If
Is
you
that
were
because
an
it's
engineer.
split across multiple channels, do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that would handle sort of, like you said, multiples or stereo pairs in 44.1 mode, I would say. Yeah. One ADAT output, one ADAT input, and USB, and it only works either or. But it does... What did it say? There was something about it. Oh, the connections are DC coupled. This is the cool thing. This is why I bought this and said there was something else. I forget who made. There was another ADAT module that you could get, and I forget who it was. But the only reason why I got the Expert Sleepers is because it's DC coupled, and that means that you can use VCV rack in your DAW, or you can use Max for Live if you've got Ableton. Logic have also got some CV stuff now in Logic if you're using Logic. So that means that you can actually CV control those 8 inputs that it's got into your DAW, and you can send LFOs, you can send modulation envelope generators, all sorts of CV stuff because it's DC coupled.
So you could send audio over it as well as triggers and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure I did a video on this I don't know, a year ago or so. It might be hard to find. because I'm a bit lazy in documenting everything in the description of what we do on these live streams, because it's, there's so much stuff we talk about. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The ES9, I remember, I think it might have been Wagoo that told me not to get the ES9. I forget who it was now. The ES9 is definitely like a bigger module with more stuff on it. But 24-bit, by the way, if you're wondering, bit rates. ES9 is USB-C, whereas the ES8 is USB Type B, the square one. And so the ES9 has 16 in and 16 out. So this might be sort of more important for you depending on how much you want to multi-track. So for me, I'm only getting 4 out and 8 in on the ES8, unless I use the expansion. But 16 in and 16 out. Personally, I think you need an expansion module to do that 16 in and 16 out, because I can't see 16 physical on the front of this. So, yeah. I think the ES3 or the ES5 might be the expansion module for it. They do talk about it on their website anyway. Go check it out. 16 HP for the ES9, by the way. The expansion headers is the ES5.
Yeah, I'll look at that.
Yeah. I mean, sensibly, with your RME Digiface, how many ports you got spare on the back of that? Heaps, right?
I've got I'm only using 2 at the moment, so I've got 2 left.
So you got heaps left on there, and then you can actually get another one, and you can actually put 2 of them into your. Have you got a Mac?
Yeah. No, just a PC.
Windows? Yes, so it doesn't matter. You can actually run 2. There's a little app that you get with it called Fireface USB settings, and it runs in the background, and you click on it, and you can actually, I'll show you actually. You can go, this is for the Mac. So this is Fireface USB. Yeah. And if I had a second Digiface, it would literally come here. I could click on it and you could see it pop in underneath there. And this is where you set all your clock rates that I was telling you guys about before for digital. So you've got internal.
Yeah.
I'm running 48K. I don't know if you noticed that, but like, look at the clock rates we can do.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So I've got a Focusrite 18i20 and that ADA to 8200 connected into that Digiface, and then I wanted to get either another 2 for both the Jasper stands so that I don't have to run audio around the room. But still got to mess around with MIDI, but or it could go straight into a module in the eurorack.
Yeah. That's why I've been gasbagging about expert sleeper stuff. I've realised we've probably overshot the show considerably. Chris and I have already turned into pumpkins.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
just
right.
a pumpkin head.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to end it purely because I'm going to get in trouble if I go too late with the family here.
I'm not here next week, Ranz. I'm at Synthfest, but I will try and dial in. But if we had I had real problems last time getting phone signal in there. So
was it in the same place as last year?
Yeah. So unless they've changed anything,
that circle room,
the octagon.
Octagon, yeah.
So
I'll probably
see
it.
Is that at Sheffield? Is that
Sheffield? Yeah. So I'll try and dial in if I can, but you may not see me.
Awesome. All right. Looking forward to that. Good luck with the live rig setup, Darren. Good luck with your microphone on your headset, Andy, and your miming techniques.
Yep.
It's been quiet today.
Yeah.
And welcome to join anytime, Steve. Loved having you here and loved looking at your stuff as well.
Good to see you, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yes, Steve.
and Chris and I will chat during the week about the other stuff.
Steve, if you ever want to send any of your stuff over, if you ever want to send any feel free.
Fantastic.
We can do something together if you want. Well,
I'd love that. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. That. Yeah. Can I reach you through Bandcamp then, Darren?
You reach me through Bandcamp or email me or Facebook. I've got Facebook, everybody.
Yeah. From the guy that never said he would do Facebook.
I know.
I'm never doing Facebook.
I might have to rejoin.
Mark my words, Ranz. I'm never doing Facebook.
The main reason I had to do it was so I could get onto the email and stuff for Blackpool. So I had to take the dive into it. So
no, you never.
But
said
like
that.
I said,
it's
not. I'm not putting up what I'm eating for tea or what I'm doing next week or whatever. It's mainly for my music stuff. So you won't see what I'm. Unless you have a look at the big long post I put on about DTH nil live rig one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Few tea breaks, toilet breaks, and it was that as well, Ranz, wasn't it? That it was just there, blink, and it was fine after an hour and a half.
What about me today? Like, I get onto this show and like my Mac just decided that all of the stuff was not working, and I'm like, I haven't even touched you today. Why are you being like that? Computers, have as many degrees as you like. It doesn't help, does it?
Robbie's just asking, can we mention that Isla Instruments have extended their discount code for the Caladan pre-orders?
There you go. You've just mentioned
I think
it. ProSynth is the valid.
ProSynth is the actual the code. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't mention anything about the Caladan today because I thought we'd done it to death on ProSynth, and I think that's it. They got enough love for that. So if you're wondering about that synth and you haven't heard anything about it today on today's show, go check out ProSynth's live stream that was on yesterday. Awesome. All right, $50 discount, by the way.
Yes. It's
See everyone.
A change, isn't it? Right. Bye, everybody.
Press record.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah. Make some tunes. Oh no, that's somebody else, isn't it?
Andy.
Vincent.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Cool.